or refer Owen to somebody.
Now remember,
Kind of probably a little bit harsh.
you've only had 6 days of this, so
Yeah.
roll a d4 there, and we'll see how much
Yeah.
if any of your sanity has recovered. You got 1.
Sounds about right.
Okay, so your sanity is gone up to 56. So it's still going to be, your daily sanity is going to be 1/5 down. So if you drop more,
yeah,
than
it's still good.
it's going to be 10. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all good.
And Andy's rotating around there. So
when you're pinched with your fingers, then for some reason your avatar starts to rotate, and that sometimes happens when I try to zoom in and out of the maps. But
okay, yeah.
I'm gonna be
Okay, so you can rotate away all you want. So we've obviously a new character. Who I don't know how he's going to mesh him with the thing. So after the escape from Innsmouth, you had a dead body in the car with you, and you had some children and a pig. So.
That was a weird joke.
Yeah.
Walk into a bar.
Yeah. And the barman said, "Why the long face?" Oh no, I thought it was a horse you had. So what did you do for the week? I mean, what did you do with them, or did you just do anything? Are they all still in the van out the back? What did you do with the van?
We would have done something with them, and maybe that's what we got to figure out right here and now before we do anything further.
Was Donica's FBI agent character? It was Derek? Was it?
Derek. No, something. Derek. What the fuck is it? Derek Wist, I think. Derek Wist.
Owen's suggestion, or my suggestion, was presumably one of the lawmen would have like a better idea of what we should do. It's like, do we, do a hush hush? Maybe Derek has gone, and maybe he took care of. Maybe he dumped the body of someone from. Oh no, we sure it was the bodies of the lads. So, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what's least likely. It's like, are we better off going to the authorities, or I want to keep the hush hush.
Yeah, that's the question, and I suppose Archibald would be pretty torn about that, because being a lawman, he would want to do things by the book, but obviously we're in too deep at this point, and it might put everything in danger for him to if it were to become public that he'd gone off on his own, and
I feel like we could bury Edmund, like we could bury Edmund somewhere quietly, and then obviously we can give him maybe proper sending off when this is all done. But possibly, I mean, we're gonna have to let the kids go and say, but maybe don't mention anything. Just say that you don't know who took you, and just go home.
Yeah. The kids, I think the kids would be easier. We would be like bringing the kids to their parents, and if they didn't have any, maybe to some kind of protected institution or whatever. So they should be.
You are in a mob owned vehicle as well. Don't forget that. You have to get rid of that van, or you don't have to get rid of that van. It's up to you. But remember, that van is the one that was given to you by the mob. The other thing as well is Derek's not with you. You remember he went off a couple of hours to get help. So and you fled in after that.
Yeah, in the immediate term. Yeah, we'll probably have to figure out. The pig, I don't know. The pig, I kind of want to hang on to, but I can't keep it in my apartment in Arkham. It's not like I don't live out in the country.
Since the incident.
He's not allowed to. You're not allowed to have animals in that apartment anymore since the incident.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't let Mrs. Tubridy keep her cat, so I don't think they'll appreciate me rocking up with a talking pig. So probably not. Yeah.
The pig would be the hardest thing, I think. The van, we could either keep it, get some new plates on it, maybe a new coat. The kids back to their parents if they don't have any, off to some institution. The pig, though, what do you do with a talking pig?
Yeah.
Same thing you do with a not talking pig.
I thought you were going to say the same thing you do with a drunken sailor.
Put it in the longboat till it's sober.
Yeah. I said actually apartment. I think I said before. I don't remember if Owen had an apartment or a house. I don't remember if
Owen is for the sake of the map
city,
I drew. Owen has an apartment. He doesn't really have that much cash. You know, he's not a. You know, he's only a tenured professor in Arkham. Zoology, and he's not married or anything. The feeling I get of Owen is he's not. He might be mean or frugal with his money, but he just doesn't care about.
No, his house is mostly books.
Yeah,
I think
he's made out of books.
Yeah. Pig. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have anywhere that we can stash the van unless somebody.
I don't know. Just as suggestions, are allotments or anything a thing of would the campus have any allotments? Or
it's possible. Yeah, or is there anything? It could do if I don't know. Yeah, is there? Well, it's possible that in the biology department that there might be somewhere that Owen could sort of be like, oh, a colleague of mine or someone, he's visiting me from Pittsburgh and he's doing an experiment on pigs. So this pig will leave it in the lab, but nobody dissect that pig.
Yeah.
You know, that's not
on the
put
cage.
a note.
Do not
Yeah,
dissect.
it's like the putting your lunch in the work fridge. You know, you have the thing on it. You know, Dr. Rattigans do not eat, do not dissect.
It'll protest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. So there might be somewhere in the labs to kind of like specimens, you know, like stick this pig in there and say it's for a couple of days anyway.
I imagine, given the time frame, it would have been probably much more common in those days to actually keep animals for direct experimentation on in the university, whereas it wouldn't really happen nowadays. But I would imagine in the 20s there was, maybe not as big as a pig, but there would have been certainly cages of monkeys and rabbits and other stuff to carry out experiments on. So
I would think animal rights were somewhat less evolved. Yeah, you probably stick a monkey in a tiny cage and you know, test shampoo on it.
Yeah, so I'd say that's probably a good idea. You could probably keep it quite secure. The only other thing is I'm just looking at the map there, and to the west of the Miskatonic University there is a big park, but then anything could happen to the pig in the park.
Yeah, we'll leave it. Yeah, we'll leave the pig there until we find a more permanent solution. It'll be all right there for a couple of days, but before long, either someone's going to start asking questions, or the pig is going to start asking people questions.
Yeah.
And then it's all blown up.
I mean, are we keeping the pig in the park?
No, in the university.
No, I think we'll
in the university.
Yeah, somewhere in the lab. So I can keep it there a few days at least without anyone raising an eyebrow.
But we would have to tell it not to, you know, speak up.
I'll have to say, this is. You gotta hang tight. Yeah,
act as be a happy pig, and then
give me a persuasion test there, Ben.
Jesus.
To see can you persuade the pig not to talk up.
Yeah.
No, failing it doesn't necessarily mean that the pig will rat.
Yeah. I am putting it into a lab.
Or that goes stool pigeon.
Trust.
That should have been that the pig won't squeal.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the 20s, no, just over.
Yeah, just over. Okay, so we'll see with the face. Fucking yeah, of course. And I was going through stool pigeon. I was going rat, squeal. Yeah.
Horse.
Yeah.
Forest in the trees, right?
Yeah, this is it. This is it. I'll edit that into the before I upload it. That's the other reason we don't stream it, so I can upload, make all the jokes. Okay, so
it will literally be you saying it, then my voice going squeal.
yeah.
Get Becky to record it.
Yeah. So you've dealt with the pig. You haven't decided what to do with Edmund.
No, I don't exactly want to be bringing him into the authorities.
No, and I think having thought about it for a bit, I think Archibald at this point is beyond his any legal duties as a cop. I mean, I can obviously see that this goes way beyond anything that the law is capable of handling, potentially anyway. So and I don't want to. I mean, it looks like I'm fucked no matter what I do. So that being said, I think he should have a proper burial, not just a fucking backyard somewhere.
No, we'll somewhere that we know. I guess somewhere remote, if we can bury him under a nice tree or something. It's gonna have to be out of the way.
He was. Yeah. I think he was. I don't know if he was a staunch Catholic, but I think I know his new character is, but I mean, given the time, you'd probably want to be buried in consecrated ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we should find a Catholic church with a cemetery to match and talk to the.
Okay, so
the
looking
Undertaker.
at the map, directly east, where Mikey's hovering there, there's an old graveyard. There's also Christchurch Cemetery, which is due south of that. There's probably more. As I said, I just threw up this map here as and to the north there's Kingswood Cemetery.
Sorry.
I thought that was the pig.
Sorry, I'm just smothered today.
Yeah, we'll have to do it quick because I can bring a pig to the biology department and stash it there for a bit. If I bring a corpse to the medical department, don't dissect him. He hasn't donated his body to science, but I'm just gonna keep him on ice for a few days here. That'll be more suspicious.
So are we assuming that all of those cemeteries are Catholic?
Well, it doesn't matter whether it's Catholic or not. I would imagine it's consecrated ground is the trick, isn't it?
Oh,
I don't know. I'm not. I mean, okay. I don't.
Me neither. I know nothing.
Yeah. So,
the Kingswood Cemetery might be the best bet because you could get in from the forested side. There's less chance of being spotted.
Okay.
Yeah. Would Owen know because his Irish father, very Irish conservative father, was a big Bible basher and was always trying to drill the Bible into his head? Would he know if it was the case that if Edmund's Catholic and he's not buried in a Catholic cemetery?
I think Owen would know that. I think the reason that we don't know that is because we are fucking a bunch of atheists. But I would imagine that somebody who was actually had some mediocre knowledge of what the fuck is happening would know whether it's So
I'd say Christian, great. Even at a pinch, I'd say even if they buried you in the grounds of a synagogue, it's better than out in a swamp.
It's better than leaving by the side of the road.
Yeah.
So look, we will save.
That's a good idea with the Kingswood. Yeah. See, this is the thing: are we sneaking in and digging up and burying him, or
so I mean,
rolling him up in a carpet and sort of delivering him and running away? Are we ringing the doorbell?
Here's another thing.
Running away.
Here's another thing, right? As well,
lighting it on fire.
Here's another thing, right? The Kingswood Cemetery is probably the new one because the old graveyard, given the size of it, we would imagine it's whatever the predominant religion is in the area is the bigger one. So it's Boston, it's Massachusetts. So I suppose it's 50-50 whether, but it seems to be all the characters we've met so far in this are of Irish descent. So I would say there's a good chance that Kingswood, and if not, you can always come back and dig them up again.
Yeah, it's probably one of the few places America that is would be maybe majority Catholic because it's a lot of all Presbyterian and that kind of stuff out in America, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, let's go. Well, it's not grave robbing, but grave
No,
digging.
it's the exact opposite, actually.
Yeah, we're gonna grave giving or
Grave pudding, grave donating. I don't know.
grave donating.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is gonna be.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you going to drop the pig off first?
Yeah.
I would say maybe we could split it a bit, or I don't know. No, the pig wouldn't take so long, so we could probably drop that off first, and then drive around with the kids to their parents.
Okay.
I'd probably just say just so everyone feels safe. Hi, I'm a cop. Here's my badge. Don't look at my name. If anything happens, don't tell anyone. Your kid is safe now, and I might be back to ask you guys a few questions later on. Something like that.
Yeah, you have two kids. There's the two young kids who are going to be dissected, and you also have Brian Burnham and Nathaniel. Now, obviously, Brian Burnham and Nathaniel were.
Oh yeah,
older,
shit, Nathaniel. Yeah, that's that shit.
Mayor's kid.
It's been so fucking long. Yeah, that's the mayor's son.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's gonna be a bit harder.
Well, I feel like if it's in some ways, it's like unless we either threaten him or don't bring him home, he could be. We have no real control whether they tell him anything. I mean.
No, that's right. But obviously we saved them, and
you could ask them.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think we kind of maybe just have to rely on being like, look, we don't know. Obviously, you know all this creepy shit going on, and we don't know who's involved and all the rest. So maybe just keep quiet about it until we can figure something out, or maybe stop these people.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they would be certainly Burnham after everything that happened, and Nathaniel. I think they'd be quite eager to just for the moment just fucking go into hiding. The kids are probably traumatized that you could just probably drop them on the side of the street outside their house and they haven't a clue what's going on.
My initial idea was if you drop them like a block from their house, if they know.
Yeah.
If we ask them, do you know how to get home? Like, do you know which house is yours?
Yeah.
And the parents, if their kid shows up on their doorstep, we'll have a few days maybe before.
Yeah. Well, don't forget the van. Even if they had the cop on to take information on the license plate of the van, it's not your vehicle. That's going to point back to the mob. So, there's...
And it's going to be harder in the 20s to kind of...
I think...
If nobody sees us, it's much more difficult to investigate.
Yeah. Is there... I mean, speaking of that, the cemetery in the forest next to it, there might be somewhere secluded where we could park the van.
Yeah, there's... if you look, there's Kennedy Road. Goes right past the woods, touches the woods, up the northeast.
Yeah.
You'll know. Go on, sorry.
But Burnham was 18, wasn't he?
Burnham was 18. Yeah.
Was Nathaniel?
He was the same, roughly the same age as him. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not technically minors anymore, so they're probably that's
fine. So just one other question: Are you going to drop the pig off? Get rid of the kids, drop the pig off, get rid of the teenagers. Are you going to leave, which is what I would nearly suggest, is leave Edmund in the car for a couple of days so that you can go off, get your health back? Because obviously I've assumed that we've moved on 6 or 7 days before you go and get the body. Are you going to do it straight away after you do the kids? Get rid of the kids even.
Yeah.
Initially, I was thinking straight away, just so he's not decomposing in the back of the van.
Okay.
Right.
Obviously, I've given you back your HP, so look, it doesn't matter. Now that brings us into Mikey, who's been sitting there very quietly while this has all been going on. So, Mikey, how do you propose running into this bunch of reprobates, given that?
I'm not quite sure, to be perfectly honest. Like, my whole thing was that he's in town looking for Robert.
Okay. Well, can I just throw something out there? If the guys are adamant that they're heading off to the woods, and you're an illegal moonshine maker, how about that in a secluded part of the corner of the graveyard or the woods? You've got a pot still going.
Yeah.
And you literally you stumble across the guys.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
something as I know it's a bit. I can't see how to otherwise in the middle of this.
Well, I think the machinations of the universe in Lovecraft, it's a bit.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know forces we don't understand.
Bringing us together.
Yeah.
So, are you waiting till the cover of darkness to break into this cemetery?
Surely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine. So we'll say it's about an hour after sunset now. Robert, sorry, I have to get you ready. Your new name. What's your name?
Someone's Douglas, someone's Clarence.
Yeah, they're all a bit overlapped. Clarence Reed is Ray's new character. He's an investigative journalist from Boston. Yeah. And Mikey's new character is Douglas Jeremy Sipple. Sipple?
Sipple, yeah.
Sipple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You couldn't have a bra. Oh, that was because I actually.
Sybil as in Sybil faulty as in. Okay, well, Jesus Christ. Okay, well.
Okay, so Douglas Jeremy Sipple is in the woods, making some moonshine, getting his pot still up to temperature and that. And I presume you're pulling up to the side of the road by Kennedy Road there.
Yeah, and Owen sniffs the air and he says, as an Irishman, I can smell someone is making poutine in the woods.
Yeah.
Someone is making moonshine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're right now at the where Mikey is pointing.
I think this is where I'd imagine. Well, how do I draw again? I'd say you've parked the car. Why is that not drawn?
Oh yeah, you've seen it. Oh, Kennedy Road. Yeah.
Kennedy Road around here.
Yeah, and then through the woods and hop the fence.
For some reason or other, it's not letting me to dry. So I don't know why that's not letting me draw on the thing. I was going to put a little mark.
So we're near enough.
So your car is roughly around there somewhere.
Oh, boom, yeah.
Yeah, roughly. Obviously, I don't have a map for the cemetery because this is all unexpected.
Oh, yeah.
So, I suppose you hop the fence, you're going through the woods. Andy, give me a listen there, please.
Yeah, right on. 2 seconds.
Excellent. So you hear something in just north of. You're about halfway into the woods. It's quite dense at this stage. It's an old, gnarly wood, good old, proper trees. You hear something, some sort of a crackling noise, maybe fire or something, but you don't see any. You can't smell anything. You hear it slightly to the north of where your marker is on the map there, where it says Andy, where it says Mikey.
Are we going to assume Jane is with us, or?
What we can say is how about while you were doing that, Jane left the body, and Jane got another vehicle or something, or Jane's taking care of the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you want me to run Jane?
No, it's probably easier just for you and.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easier for all of us, and it also makes sense.
Yeah, they're not.
And we don't. Yeah, and we don't have to assume.
You're not the famous five all hanging around together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, they're off. She's gone off doing union work or whatever. She's gone off investigating. Well, her union contacts into the who them.
Do you know what she could do? You could really actually get sneaky, get Brian and Nathaniel off on some job site up in another state, temporarily. Just be like, hey, this kid's in trouble. Just,
they've gone off with them, and it'll allow us that she can run into the Clarence when they're off on some other side adventure. So yeah, it's just you and Owen are doing this because you said that we didn't want to draw too much attention.
Okay, so we're carrying around a body, but still, there's clearly something going on here that might be a potential threat, and we've both lost a bit of sanity, so we might be a bit paranoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put the body down.
Yeah.
My fucking back.
What was that? What was that? Did you hear that?
I thought it was me.
Mikey, I just sent you a whisper.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that.
I think we got to make sure that that nothing is potentially threatening us here. So I think we need to examine this.
Mm.
So yeah.
Just popping the shovel down and.
Okay, so while this is going on, Mikey, you don't hear anything. You don't hear anything. So the lads have heard you, but you don't hear them.
Okay.
So guys, as you approach, you come to a clearing and you can hear someone rustling around. Mikey, you're probably a bit apprehensive because you thought this would be a great place to put a still. You've just moved your still operation to here because of the police, and you thought this was going to be quite a secluded place, but it's actually creepy as shit. The place. You've been here maybe 2 or 3 nights. You come in at nighttime, and you've already made it up your mind that as soon as you get this batch done, you're not coming back here. You're hearing a lot of shit, weird noises during the night when you're there.
Can I say that Douglas is kind of well on it to try and get himself through the night, if you know what I mean?
Okay, right, yeah. Which way? So he's been hitting some of his own product, I take it, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting high for his own supply.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the situation of where you're predisposed to. So guys, as you approach, will you do a stealth check for me, please?
Mm-hmm.
Both Andy and Ben.
Yeah, and as we get near, would we see light from a fire?
Yeah,
we'd have to have. Would he?
He has it banked down so that Jesus Christ! So as you're clamping through the trees very loudly, you notice you don't really see the light because whatever he's done, he's got the fire banked down so that it's producing heat probably, but not flames. But you do get a smell of raw alcohol, quite distinct pochine smell.
Mm.
So Owen probably is. Well, the 2 of you would probably be. Certainly Archibald would be. He's a cop. He's used to raiding speakeasies. And Owen is a scientist who's probably in his day made his own pochine. So or sorry, we should be calling it moonshine, I suppose. But you do recognize the smell.
Moonshiners. I've dealt with these guys before. This is not necessarily a threat, but I still think we need to make absolutely sure that nothing is going on because if you're involved with one criminal activity, you might be involved with others.
We can't have somebody out here while we're burying a body. So
also that, and
maybe flash a badge and get rid of him.
Exactly. So I pull out my badge and gun, move towards the noise.
Okay, so you go into the clearing. Mikey, at this point in time, you turn. You hear something. You hear a lot of crashing through the woods, or through the trees.
Me fucking neck.
And
ow!
You see a rather old, bedraggled gentleman over there, and somebody who's obviously a government man.
Yeah, Douglas is kind of going to wobble on his legs, turn around, and he's like seeing like these 4 guys coming towards him.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, Jesus. He starts staggering back into the still a bit, and like it's in like a little like a ramshackle, like kind of rusted galvanized sort of piece of galvanized pushed up against it, just kind of behind it. as if it's like at the doors. Like, oh,
Jeez, he's
didn't
gonna,
see me.
Yeah.
he's gonna set the
Can't
fucking
see
floor
anyone.
on fire.
Visible.
Basically, it's like, the sheet of galvanized with a load of holes in it, so you can clearly see his face still through it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, ah.
So I flash my badge and point my gun at him and go, police, please.
No one's here.
I thought I was losing my mind.
He's heavily on the fudging or the moonshine or whatever you want to call it. So
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna. I still got my gun up. Gonna try to move a bit closer, see if I can get a better look at him.
Yes.
Do we have Phil? We don't have like a specific scenario for this, like a specific map.
No, this is all.
No, no.
This is all.
Completely off the cuff.
This is off the cuff. Yeah. Sorry. I'll quickly go off and drop a map. So, no, I mean, like, you are in a clearing. There's a pot. Okay, so what you see is there's a Pachin still. And despite he's quite inebriated, he seems to know what he's doing because it's producing heat, it's distilling away, it's not giving off any flames. So, he's managing to, you know, he knows what he's doing, and it's bubbling away, fermenting away, and he seems to be on his own. You can tell from operations that you've been involved in and busting, especially the mob ones. This is a low, it's probably a single guy. He's not part of the mob type of operation. He's just somebody who's an artisan moonshine maker as opposed to organized crime.
All right, come out with your hands up.
Okay, so he's gonna walk out with 2 moonshine jugs in his hands, and this is like, yeah. He's like, yeah.
All right, put those down and keep your hands where I can see them.
Okay, all 3 of you do a listen check for me, please.
Sorry.
Sorry. My sheet.
So I failed.
Okay. Archibald, as you're telling your man to please come from, you hear this sort of a slobbering noise coming from the direction of where the cemetery is. So it's still in the trees, and you can hear something moving through the undergrowth. And it's making sort of noise. The others don't seem to have heard this yet. One of them is completely off his head, and erratic in his.
Like he's putting down, could you say drop him? So he's putting down the full jar, and he's finishing the half full jar. And he's like, yeah, here you go.
Everybody, be quiet.
Owen is reaching for the moonshine as he says, "Be quiet."
Douglas said, no.
Okay, Owen and Douglas, give us another listen roll there, please.
What are you?
Oh, I passed.
So yeah, you hear something,
No.
and Owen.
When they say he's 62.
You have never passed a listening test. Owen.
What?
Douglas, you hear something now, and it's something you've been hearing this noise on and off, not as close, not as loud, but you've certainly heard this noise the last couple of nights you've been here, but it has never been this loud.
Okay.
What is that? Did you hear it?
Oh.
Like,
Hear
I'm
what?
kind of still wobbling and kind of like, yeah, I heard it.
What is that? How long you been out here? Who are you?
What day is it?
What is it, a dog?
4, 7, 8 days. I don't know. I've heard that noise a couple of times. It's probably a badger.
Only at night time you've heard it.
But badgers are nocturnal.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is but you
yeah.
you haven't been hearing it during the daytime.
It's
Putting up.
yeah.
with
I think it's a badger.
Okay, so as that's going on, as the badger, you can hear this noise has been steadily getting louder and louder. So much loud that even Owen hears it now at this point. And
Yeah, you know, I was just gonna say to Archibald that, like, okay, we better deal with this because if it is some kind of animal, we got a corpse back there.
Keep quiet.
So are you going to go back towards the corpse?
No, I think
Not with
I'm
no.
I'm sensing.
What direction? And he's
It's
pointing
coming
the gun
from
in
the
that general
direction
direction.
of where you left the
The
corpse.
cemetery. Oh, good.
It's after circling around.
Yeah.
Okay. So I suppose there would be like if there's like a burner, there would be some fire.
Oh yeah. He has a bank down there. You can't see the flame, but it's burning wood. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna stand, gun pulled, with my back towards the fire and facing in the direction of where the sound is coming from, pointing the gun in that general direction. Just being aware, being on the lookout for any approaching danger.
And it seems like it's getting further away.
No,
like
it's getting closer.
Towards.
It's
okay,
heading
but
towards
not.
you.
That's the thing.
It's heading towards
I thought
you.
it was heading away
No.
from us towards where the corpse had been.
Well, no, it sort of came from the set because you couldn't hear anything,
And
so you don't know where it was.
Yeah.
So, but no, it came from the sort of the cemetery, and it was heading to, and then all of a sudden it started getting louder, and it seems to have circled around to wherever you dropped the corpse.
Okay.
And you can hear a sort of sound.
Okay, well, we've got the shotgun up, and he's saying to Douglas, sure, you don't have an accomplice out here.
I have no accomplices, just me. Just me.
True.
Well, if you got any gun, pull it, because you might gonna be needing it in a bit.
Pass the fist. I only like to drink.
So, through the trees. So, Andy is near the fire. I don't know if it's Owen. So what we'll do is
a few steps ahead of, just a few steps away from the fire.
Okay.
Wherever.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag the map. So you see where it says something. I presume it says water tower. On the map, there's a circle there.
Yeah.
You see where Mikey's thing is. So that's where the fire is.
Yeah.
Or that's where the stove is.
Cool.
The pot, where the pot still is. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to draw that. Sorry. So I'm just going to put Archibald is there. The sound.
Oh, water. Oh, that's where we are.
Well, you're actually below it. Now, what I'm still doing is I'm just going to that circular tower. That's the fire. That's the pot still for purposes. So forget that we're on the map. Forget we're on the map for the moment. That's I'm just going to use that.
Okay, great.
And so Jeremy was hiding behind his thing. Is sort of there.
I'll be up here, would I?
Up there, and
Yeah.
Owen is
a couple of steps ahead of.
Yeah, the body, you left the body maybe over here where the green bit of the map is, okay? Would that be right? Where Watley Street is?
Okay, I'll say no. What?
Yeah.
Around here? That's probably where the body was. So you're in a clearing around, there's a small little clearing around here, and the body's out there. And that's where the noise is coming from. And as you hear that noise, all of a sudden, through the trees crashes this ghoul. So I need you to take, and he's blood coming out of his mouth. There's bits of bone. So I need you to take a sanity check, please.
Yeah.
So Douglas, you pass. Archibald, you pass. So you all pass the sanity check. So you
Might be the first time I've passed.
Yeah. So no one takes any sanity loss. But there is definitely there's this creature, ghoulish ghoul, blood and bits of rotten flesh that it's been feasting on something in the cemetery, is coming through the brushes at you, and
bang.
Okay. Bang, bang.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll go to the combat tracker anyway, just so we know what you're doing.
I know what I'm doing. I'm shooting. Blowing its brains out is what I'm doing.
Okay, so.
Sorry. I'm gonna add the gun drawn thing.
So, Douglas and Archibald, if you go to the combat tracker, please, and remember right click. Oh, and don't forget your PCs when you come on up to the cog. up the top right.
Oh yeah.
Game settings, configure settings,
Not the time
and
frame.
performance mode and frame rate. Drop performance mode, I recommend to
Yep.
medium, and frame rate to either 10 or 20.
Right.
If it hasn't
Gotcha.
remembered it. It will.
It did. It actually
yeah,
did.
Sometimes-
saved it on mine.
I
yeah.
think because I'm now using the same IP address, it's actually caching it, whereas when the IP address is changing. So Owen has his gun drawn. Right, so Owen, you're drawing your gun. Archibald, are you drawing your gun?
Yeah, I had it drawn already.
Okay, it hasn't come up in your combat tracker. Now it has. Yeah,
So if
cool.
you, oh yeah.
So Jeremy Douglas, doesn't have a gun to draw. Sorry.
He's hiding behind the still with
You
the
could make a
gem.
Molotov cocktail. Oh, that's Becky's usual one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Archibald, you're up first. So
Right.
remember, you don't have to. Just declare who you're tracking, hitting at. So what you want to do is you want to go onto the combat tab, and under ranged weapons, it's .32 revolver. Click on the writing .32 revolver. So it's a bit different to the D&D sheets.
Yeah.
And that should bring you up an interactive thing. Yeah, and okay, so you are in base range. You can fire a single or you can fire multiple shots. You will multi shots, okay? So the first time, just go shoot handgun. Don't do anything else. Just so go shoot handgun.
Where?
Down the bottom, underneath base range, there's a white button that says shoot handgun, 67%.
Oh.
Yeah, so just click that. Okay, now don't do anything else. Which actually you did, but anyway. So you fired off one shot. That's to do multi shots. You were going to fire 3 shots, where you did roll it with a penalty device. Okay, pull up the revolver again. And we'll fire your shots. Right. So it's base range.
And just a single this time, or
No, you go
multi again?
go multi shots, and this time when you go shoot, okay, don't do anything else. You see the way now there's shoot handgun and it says shoot, okay? So press shoot handgun one more time.
Oh.
And now it's going to fire 2 shots. So now go shoot. And it'll roll. Okay, so one of your 3 shots actually went through. So go roll damage. And go inflict pain. Oh no, I do inflict pain. You don't. It doesn't give you the option. Oh yeah, there's no target. So it's 5 points of damage it takes. Okay, sorry. 5 points of damage. So you shot it. It actually went through. It connected, but the ghoul just maybe a bit of its arm fell off. So it's still going. So, Owen, you're up.
Yeah, he's just letting loose. But so
again,
sorry, what was it with both barrels?
It's still a multi-shot. It's still classed as a multi-shot. So go on to combat, shotgun. It should pop up a dialogue box. Yeah. Okay, so it's still multi-shots. And then go shoot rifle, and then shoot rifle again for the second shot. And then you're out of ammo, obviously. And then go shoot. So both of them, you fire both barrels, and both of them miss.
Oh.
Now, you fumbled, but the revolver has a reliability, or the shotgun has a reliability of 100, so you won't get a malfunction. So you fired, and the thing comes running at you and is going to target you. And bring up its sheet. What can it do? So it's going to swipe its claws at you, which is a brawl. So it misses, and it has another attack. So it's going to swipe its other claws at you. Jesus fucking Christ. Obviously, the shot that Andy did, and it's now going to go in and try and bite you.
Because I think...
Fucking hell! So, it's Mr.
Bad goal.
So, yeah,
I was
very
going to
bad.
say, out of fairness, as you say, we wouldn't have hit. So I think Owen would actually probably only have 2 HP at this point, maybe 1.
We'll go on that. We'll
you
go
know.
on that. It has the week has moved on. That you kept him in the refrigerator in your apartment or something. It's a type of crazy thing to do. Okay, so that's the ghoul has done that. So yeah, he's completely missed. So he ran in, and Owen was fumbled, tripped over a branch, stumbled, went forward. Douglas, it's your go.
Yeah, so I actually am kind of tempted to do what you said about the Molotov.
Okay.
But I don't know what way it'd work. I would just use a throw, wouldn't it?
You'd use a throw, yeah.
Yeah. So, right, I'm just going to say that he grabs like a handkerchief or some old cloth or something he has in his pocket, swigs another big mouthful of the moonshine, stuffs it into it, and lights it underneath the still.
Yeah, so...
And then that's it.
So do a throw.
Yeah.
I do actually have... There are stats for Molotov cocktails, would you believe? So I just have to look at
really?
Free headers damage stats for them, yeah.
We'll just do a throw anyway.
Well, no, you do it. It will be a throw, yeah. I'll just have to... just to have them in...
Actually, while Phil's looking that up, that was...
he completely missed.
So you throw it, and it hits the ghoul. You think, yay, but as it was going through the air, you suddenly realise you forgot to light the rag. So you've just wasted a bottle of pochine, or a bottle of moonshine on the thing, which is actually worse. It's the worst thing you could have done. Okay.
I picture Douglas lighting a match and throwing the match.
Yeah. Maybe that would have been better. So you still have the Molotov, but you've no matches. Okay, so next turn, back to you, Douglas. Back to you, Archibald.
Yeah, gonna take another couple of shots at him that seem to work fairly well.
Yeah.
Come on. 32. Multiple.
Yeah, and then go shoot handgun again and shoot handgun again. So that you have 3 of them. Oh, you've no bullets left, so you can only do 2 shots.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so.
Okay, I'm gonna do the last 2 shots. Yeah.
Okay, so one of them goes through. So roll me some damage, please.
Yeah. All right.
And 7. Okay, so with that, oh shit! I did it to Jeremy. Gave the damage to Jeremy.
That's just the moonshine kicking in.
Yeah. So you blew off a whole arm of his. So he's actually reduced one of his attacks. So he's enraged now. Okay, Owen, it's up to you. You can reload
1 and fire.
1 and fire.
Yeah.
But you will take a penalty dice, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
let's...
gonna... What did did we have this thing before when it was at point? Did the point blank?
You're right. You are spot on. At point blank range, you get a
penalty.
You get a bonus. You get a bonus. You're right. So you can reload 1 shot and have no disadvantage. You're right.
I couldn't remember if it was like to hit or if it was a damage bonus from point blank, but I knew.
Now the monster has the option to try and dodge.
Yeah, just gonna pop.
Well, he's not.
He's and fire.
He's not. He's a ghoul. Fucking hell. So you manage somehow or other to miss the ghoul at point blank range with a shotgun. So
he hasn't had any moonshine. He can't use that.
Yeah. So the ghoul's turn now. And he's going to try and bite you. And he fucking misses you. And now he's going to swing his 1 remaining arm at you. And that connects. Oh shit! Sorry. You should have had the option to dodge.
Did I with the if I had the Was there something like this? Oh no, I couldn't move if I had the gun drawn.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. But that would actually... Look, I don't know. We'll say because you had it drawn. I'll have to check that up because you've had your action. Yeah, you've had your action. No, you still would have had the ability to dodge.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember back to the.
You would have
first
had
session we did in the house.
You would have had the option to dodge, but then you wouldn't have been able to have the gun drawn on your next round. So
Yeah.
I should have asked you. Did you want to dodge? Did you want to
I
dodge?
think he's keeping. He's not good at dodging anyway. He's very slow. I think he'd probably feel better with the shotgun still up. I think.
Yeah. So he does you 1d6 plus his damage bonus. He only does you 3. Fucking
Good, because yeah, that's not a major wound.
No.
Just about. Well.
No,
What is it? Was it more than half your hit point? What's a major wound?
If you take sorry, what is your score?
7.
7.
So 3 could be, depending on whether it
3,
rounds up.
yeah,
or
no,
down.
you're okay. You're okay. But
Okay.
yeah, you're just about. Okay, so. Right. So back to you, Douglas.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. So I've tried the Molotov. So Douglas is probably just going to run back into his still. He's got no other way of fighting this massive
Yeah.
creature.
Okay.
It's like he's just going to be running back into his still and trying to get another jar of moonshine.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
I'm
So,
pretty certain he's he's got no weapons because I never gave him any weapons.
yeah.
Mm.
Archibald, back to you.
Yeah.
Now you can reload if you want to, but
Yeah.
you're going to be at disadvantage.
Yeah, so you can either you can use your full action to reload a full clip.
Yes.
Oh no, he's got 32, so
Yeah. He can. He'd be able to.
can
No, he'd be
reload
able
the
to
full
reload it
chamber.
fully. If
Fully,
it was
and then
if it was an automatic, he could reload a whole clip.
yeah,
If
with
it's
just
a
the reloaded
revolver,
fire, yeah.
if it's a revolver, he can't do the whole lot, and it's a
The
revolver.
full action to reload or load 1 round and shoot that at a penalty.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Oh.
Yeah. Because you're basically what you're doing is you're literally slapping a bullet in, and then pulling it.
Actually,
Yeah. Okay. So I've accidentally reloaded 2 at this point.
Well, just fire 1.
Yeah. Okay. But at a penalty.
At a penalty, yeah. It'll come up in the dialogue box at a penalty. It'll let you.
All right. Yeah. Well. Still the best thing I can do. No, Jesus Christ! It was supposed to be at a penalty. What?
It doesn't matter. You
No,
failed anyway.
still a pretty big fail.
Yeah. 119. So, Owen, it's up to you. You need to finish this guy off.
well, it's gonna be again 1 round in
Yeah.
the chamber or in the barrel and 1 shoot.
Okay.
Thank fuck.
Yeah. Go roll damage.
So, on top. Now, Phil, just there on
Yeah.
the shotgun. There's 3 there's 4d6, and then to the right 2d6 and 1d6.
Yeah.
Is that
So
a range?
4. Yeah, it is, but it's a shotgun. So when you're in point blank, you get 4d6. It gets less efficient. So 4d6.
Yeah, so I just wanted to be
Yeah.
sure. 14 damage.
All right.
Okay. So the 14 damage takes care of the 1 HP that the ghoul had left.
Yeah.
So yeah, you only got 1. So with that, you blew its head off all over the place.
Scanner style.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, just on the major damage is equal to more than half maximum hit points. So it's more than max, but you were close to. You could have been very nasty for you.
If I take 4 damage,
Yeah,
I'm fucked.
yeah. He rolled.
So
He rolled really badly for you after that point of view.
Yeah, because it was.
Yeah.
What was it? It was like a D6 plus.
Yeah, it was a D6 plus a D4.
Damage bonus.
D6 plus a D4, yeah.
Yeah.
And he got 3 out of it. Okay, so there's the so you just blown the school away. Douglas is wondering what sort of friends you have, but
Yeah, Douglas is literally grabbing another jar of moonshine and like filling it from the still. He's
yeah,
just, like,
yeah.
shaking.
I think he could just say to the three of them that I don't know if it's
The three. Well, you talking to the ghoul as well.
or the three of the two others. I suppose the three of us. I don't think it's
Edmund's dead.
I don't think it's safe for any of us to do what we came out here to do tonight.
I don't think so either. He said while reloading the whole deal.
Yeah, yeah. Do that on your character sheets. Reload your weapons. Yeah.
He's
Yeah, gotcha. Way ahead of you.
Yeah.
If we're walking out of here for the time, I'm just gonna step over to Archibald.
Yeah.
And just kind of whisper to him and be like, if you make sure that we don't turn our back on him, but he's like, he says, I got a pistol. I feel if there's more of these things out here, I think I'd feel a little bit better if we had 3 guns.
Yeah.
I think maybe we just watch his back, make sure there's always one of us.
I don't know. He doesn't seem like the most stable, reliable kind of guy. Plus, I know this is not my jurisdiction either, but in principle, I'm supposed to take him in.
Yeah, you are burying a fucking dead body of your friend in the woods, Mr. Cop.
He's.
All right, what voice was that? No, that was probably just the wind.
That thing had blood. He's like, I think we should. He's like, we gotta go. We gotta check on Edmund, but this guy.
Absolutely. You're right.
And actually, Owen says maybe a little louder than he should because his hearing wasn't great from the listen checks. Plus,
the
he
shotgun.
just fucking blasted a shotgun right next to his ear, and there was bullets. His thing was right next to him, and it was getting shot. And he was like, He's like, we gotta find with these things roaming out here, we probably gotta find a better place for Edmund, but we gotta go back to Innsmouth and get Robert's body.
Could you be a little louder, please? I don't think the guys on the other side of this fucking forest heard you. Okay, so I'm gonna.
Douglas is gonna perk up, and he's like, "Did you say Robert?"
Jesus Christ! Look at that.
That's very rude.
I'm very sorry. Continue on.
Hey, look, maybe we could all keep our mouth shut about what's been going on here tonight.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. I say, facing Douglas. I don't know how many minutes you can remember back, but just to reiterate, I am a police officer, and I could take you in if I wanted. However,
and we just saved your life.
We just saved your life, and our situation is a bit compromised at the moment, and your life might be in danger too, as you might have gathered. So, if you can keep your mouth shut about this, I'm just gonna ignore what you're doing here. All right?
Sounds acceptable. I'm going to bring some of these with me wherever we do go.
Yeah, he said. She's like, I think maybe we ought to. I don't know about going back to my apartment, but maybe. But I think maybe we should get this guy some coffee and maybe make sure he's got his story straight.
Anywhere but here, absolutely.
Make sure he knows
yeah.
This is serious. Maybe we just take him somewhere, get him a coffee, and get his story straight.
Yeah, somewhere not public. A bit too many ears around, I think.
Go to my apartment because I think we got a map for it.
Yeah. All right. So I turn to face Douglas again and say, "Look, you're not safe here. You've got 3 minutes to pack down whatever gear you need to bring along with you, and then we're out of here. All right? Go."
I only need 2.
Don't mind us. We just brought 2 shovels and a big carpet out here.
Yeah.
We're just gonna put it back in our truck.
We're artists. It's an installation. It's
So you're taking Edmund back. Okay, fair enough. Right. So
yeah, I think I don't trust this drunk guy going off. I saw 2 guys in the woods. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest though, he's gonna stink of liquor, so they're like, I saw 2 guys in the woods. Who's gonna
Yeah.
believe it?
I saw 4 guys in the woods.
Yeah.
I saw 8 guys in the woods
Yeah.
after that.
6 if you count the guy with blood all over his mouth.
Yeah. You make it back to your van, your Dr. J's Elixir van,
Yeah.
quite with the body. I'm with a drunk, and yeah, you're going to head back to your apartment, are you?
I guess, yeah. Is this? I don't know, is this?
I'm assuming Douglas hits into the back of the van and assumes Edmund is just sleeping it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where you actually live. Owen, do you want to give us directions? I suppose you probably live near university.
I would. I don't think it probably wouldn't be like it's
No.
not a great apartment, but I think
You live right
probably
beside
somewhere
Christchurch
near.
Cemetery. Actually, your apartment backs
where
onto
is
your
oh, I
your
see.
apartment backs onto Christchurch Cemetery. No, so you could have just thrown the body
Yeah.
out the window. I don't know. We'll say
I kind
Go on,
of feel like Lich Street.
okay, Lich Street. Yeah,
Lich Street is calling to me.
beside the old graveyard.
Yeah.
So opposite Miskatonic Park. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
okay.
right there by the library and the museum. I think.
Yeah. So
Oh, cool, and it's right near the police
station. Yeah, and Christchurch. That's handy.
Oh God.
Okay, well that's you told us where you were, so I activate that.
Yeah.
Now you'll notice on your map up the top beside where it says owns house, and I know who the fuck is that? Delete him. Don't know who that is in your house. So you'll notice that it says Arkham in a little box beside Owen's house.
In the
Up the top, there's a button beside an anvil. It says.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You have access to that map at any stage by clicking onto Arkham. If you
Oh,
want to.
nice. I see. I can tab between.
It says I don't own a token with vision on this.
No,
scene.
that's correct because I haven't thrown it on it yet. So I'm just gonna move. Owen's character was there, but no one else's was. So we have. Sorry. We have Archibald.
Yeah, where am I?
You should be over to the right now. You're outside of Owen's front door. And I'll just clear the fog, reset the fog. And who else? Douglas Jeremy Sipple.
If it's easier for you, just like where it has the names and stuff on ETR times, if you want to change my name to DJ or something like that,
Nah,
just
doesn't bother me. No, it's fine.
all that.
Okay, so you're outside in the landing outside. It's a very threadbare and worn carpet that you're on, just like the picture. And Owen sidles up to the door of his house.
Mm-hmm.
Get the keys and it's a bit sticky. Okay, come on in. Wipe your shoes. Did take his coat off.
Hang up your coat.
Oh,
Mikey's.
It's in here, dude. Come back.
and he just landed in one of the chairs.
I'm keeping an eye out for that guy. Just
I'll just close. You close the door after yourself.
Yeah.
So down to the bottom is the kitchen. Obviously, you have a sitting room and.
Yeah.
I don't know why you can see into your bedroom. You shouldn't be able to. The door's closed.
It might have been me. I think because I think he
Oh yeah, it doesn't.
or
Oh yeah.
I opened and closed
You
the
wandered
doors.
around.
So
It's your house.
He
You
was
can do
just
what.
checking.
You can
Yeah,
do
it
what
was
you
mostly
want.
just so I knew kind of the rough
Yeah.
layout. Because as you
Yeah.
said, obviously,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
so I was going into the kitchen anyway, and
Yeah.
putting the pot of coffee on the stove.
And you're a good Irishman there. All you have on the table there is rashers and sausages.
Mate.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. He's gonna put that cleaver away as well. In case old DJ gets any ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making sure he doesn't do anything. Just
Right. So I know from the point of view of the progression of the story and that, because of hit points and that, it's not the same night as, or is it the same night that you brought up the body from Arkham? Because I based all your HP on the fact that you were just hanging around Arkham for a week. So
yeah,
I think if we can just say that you put the body in cold storage for a couple of days to let the heat die down.
Yeah, I think
we could assume maybe Jane had somewhere like union contact. Maybe there is a meat packing, somewhere with a refrigerator that's on strike, or it's running, and so it's not in use for like a month.
Either that, or Owen might know a guy who dissects corpses at the university.
I think that makes more sense than that you tried to do it all in the one night that you got back, because you'd have been wrecked. So you're there, and Owen is sitting down at the door, and not Owen. And we said it was about an hour after sunset. It's April. So it's probably around 10 o'clock at night, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Say maybe 11 o'clock by the time you got back and after all your machinations.
Yeah. I guess we probably would have had to drop Edmund back to cold storage because we're going to leave him there for another little while.
Yeah, but if that's at the university, then that's just a...
Yeah, so
are you... So what are you going to do for the night? Are you going to do anything?
I'm planning to maybe sober Douglas up a little bit and have a chat with him, with the cop and the man with the shotgun, and sort of be like, you didn't see anything, we didn't see anything. Now, this is maybe a bit metagame, but again, kind of just progression of the story, and obviously with Mikey's character, I'm trying to think, is there anything that Owen could have in his apartment that something of Robert's, or I'm trying to think if it's anything that might have been like addressed to him, or something that he would have,
well, like, fair, you mentioned Robert like earlier while Douglas was me drunk.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say the gold coin is on Owen's desk, and he's got papers and things. If that's of any significance.
Okay, I'm just gonna whisper something to you, Ben.
I know that's quite metagamey, but obviously I'm trying to think of the best way to get Douglas into the fold at the minute.
I would say it's a bit. It doesn't come natural because I mean, if he's still like wasted out of his gourd, then like you can't. It doesn't make a lot of sense to find out how much he knows at this point. We would need to sober him up, get him a good night's sleep, and talk about it in the morning. So isn't that just what we do? Like a long rest.
Yeah, you can certainly go for a rest.
As we're going to bed, I think Owen is kind of just like really yawning. He's very tired, and he doesn't have any coffee himself. He's saying he's like I can't be up any longer. I'm not been sleeping great since.
Okay.
And he kind of looks at Archibald and he says, I keep seeing our antique dealer friend.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. You did tell me about him. I keep seeing those fishy things. I think we've all experienced quite a bit too much lately. I think we could do with some rest. and let's make sure that nobody leaves the apartment tonight, if that's possible for you. If you know what I mean.
I'm gonna say that Douglas is pretty much just passing out on that chair. He's kind of
Okay.
half hearing what's being said, but he's kind of not really. He's like 3 jars of moonshine into him or whatever it is. Like he's like lucky to be alive. So he's gonna be kind of just passing out on the chair.
Right.
So I've given you all a HP back, assuming that you're going to bed and you're all getting a bit of a sleep. Owen has really only one bedroom, so Andy and Mikey, you'll have to fight over the chairs.
There must be a couch somewhere.
There is, just because it's not drawn on it doesn't mean he doesn't have a couch. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Douglas is just gonna pass out on this kitchen table, this chair or something I'm sitting on here.
Yeah, great. Now let's move him into a reclining chair, and then I'll take couch.
Okay, so I've reset your HP, so you've got Ben and Andy have gotten 1 HP back. So Andy's back to full strength. Ben, you've got a little bit back, and Mike, you didn't take any strength. So nothing really happens. Ben, you've been having the same dream that you've been having since you came back from Innsmouth. And you awake. You hear all of a sudden banging on the door. It's the next morning. It's the day of your actual presentation.
Oh. Owen is just gonna say to Archibald and
Excuse me.
and he's saying like get him, move Douglas to just go into the bedroom just because, could be one of my neighbors and question.
Okay. Okay, great. So I'm gonna.
It doesn't really matter. I suppose he can just close the kind of the hall door. Yeah. He's gonna.
All right.
Yeah. Just be like, keep him quiet.
Right.
Assuming he does. Yeah. I'm gonna look through.
You don't have one.
Just would. Yeah, I was gonna say do I have a sequel? He.
You can open the door a little jar, like you can.
Who is it? Yeah, he's. He probably better not to be suspicious, so he kind of has the shotgun here next to the red coat, Opens the.
And she goes, "Oh, I found you! I found you! I'm so happy."
Oh, sweet Jesus!
I found you.
Hello.
Ruth, don't forget you can't.
Yeah.
Surely you remember my name.
I'm not. Look, it takes me a while to flick back through my notes in my old age.
We've all been there.
Yeah, he's good morning. Good morning, miss.
Can I come in? Can I come in? And she's looking around furtively.
And
she's sort of pushing past. She's pushing past you. So if you're gonna stop her, we'll do an opposed strength roll. So basically, we both roll strength.
Yeah, I think he'll kind of stick his foot, out.
Okay.
Not like he's not gonna
Okay, so
barrel,
she got a 2. You completely failed. So she beat you by 2 levels, old man.
Yeah.
And
so I got a lecture.
So okay. So she pushes past you, and she's now in the apartment, and she's heading for the sitting room door.
Yeah, and he just starts shouting. He's just like, well, before you go into the living room, it's a real mess.
And she's in.
Yeah.
And she's going, oh, I didn't know you had company. Do you want to close the door?
Well, big night last night, Yeah, what can I say? I'm Irish,
She goes, I need to see you. I need to talk to you. Where's your bedroom?
We could talk in the kitchen. I got to put a pot of coffee on. I haven't had a cup this morning.
Okay, so she can see where the kitchen is. So she heads towards the kitchen.
Okay, yeah, just go through, and he again starts he just starts reheating the pot of coffee from the night before.
Okay, so she says,
Sorry, you wanted to see me?
yeah, since you left last week with Brian, there's a lot happened in Innsmouth. I went back and Mr. Wyatt came into town that night, and he looked very distressed.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
And he spotted me, and he said, he said, he said my friends caused loads of trouble for him, and he couldn't go on, and he was going to kill himself.
Wow, boy, that's awful.
And he did. I later that day, I believe he did kill himself.
He's a man of his word.
But before he did so, he said to I had to get this out of town, and she starts reaching into her pocket, and she goes, "It's
what?
What?
No, go on.
Yeah, it's the book that Dr. Rhodes wanted."
I see. Well, I could, and he tries to hide his excitement. He says, "Oh well, thank you very much. I have an appointment. I'll be seeing Dr. Rhodes today. In fact, at my lecture, so I can bring it to him."
No, I don't know what to do. And she puts it back inside in her coat.
Hmm.
And she goes,
well,
maybe this was a mistake coming here.
Well, no. Well,
she's going to leave. She's heading towards the door.
Well, if you stick around, I'm like I said, I'm giving a lecture today, and I'll be talking to Professor Rhodes. So, I could put in a good word and make sure that he pays you, for the book and for all your trouble.
I've nowhere to stay. I've no money.
Well, I mean, sure. That bed is too it's too soft on my back. I could use a night on a night or two on the couch. So.
Hey.
Well, yeah.
He didn't say with or without you.
Yeah. It's a big couch.
I believe he wanted it harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, you can. I don't really know anywhere else. You could stay here for a couple of nights, and I'll talk to somebody down at the university about, maybe there's a room somewhere, college students, looking for roommates. But until you get on your feet, maybe you could stay here a couple of nights.
Oh, that's so good. So, what time are you leaving for the college?
Is it early morning or what?
Well, I suppose if you're going to be given a keynote or given a speech, you're going to probably be leaving early enough. I suppose your talk is probably, the seminar is probably starting, I don't know, 10 and 11 o'clock for registration, and then it's probably kicking off just before lunch with a keynote. So you're probably going to be talking, I'd say, just after lunch sometime.
Yeah.
We're all we're all looking forward to your presentation that you're going to give us.
Yeah. Is she going to be rocking up at did she rock up at 6 a.m. or like?
It's probably, it's early enough. It's maybe 7 o'clock.
Okay. We say, well, I better, I got going, and I've got to be out the door in an hour. He's thinking, shit, I got half prepared.
So I haven't said, can I go to sleep now?
Oh, yeah, sure thing. Don't mind the, and he'll kind of make his way. He said, you can, if you can hang you can, yeah, here, take your coat. I'll hang it. And you got any luggage with you?
No. I fled Innsbruck. I was. It was
Sure.
very distressing. That that friend of yours. I don't really trust him. He was. I don't know. You were right probably to leave him behind. And she goes.
Friend of ours?
She takes the book out of her thing. She's now, yeah. The other one of your
Avril?
Avril.
Other friend.
No. Yes, that arrived in town with you.
He would give maybe something of a physical description of Robert.
Yes, so
rough,
yeah, him. He seems to be in league with the Marshes, and I just don't. He seemed all right the first time I met him in Daddy's shop, but I don't trust him. And he knew I had the book, and that's why I had to get out, and that's why I don't know, but I don't get the same feeling off him. And she goes, I can't keep this book anymore. And she pushes the book into your hands. She's like, she's
yeah. He takes me. He said, Robert. He goes, whoa. When did you see Robert?
I don't know. It was all. I'm trying to think. I met Daddy, and Daddy said Mr. Wyatt was in a bad way, and I ran around to his shop, and he was walking in the middle of this street, and he didn't know what he was doing, and he was cussing and about you and your friends, and he said it was all your fault, and everything that he lived for was gone, and he was going to kill himself. And then when he saw me, he remembered about the book, and he said, take the book, and he said not to be. He said only give it to you or Dr. Rhodes, not anyone else in the party. Not especially, he said, not the strange one. And I didn't know what he meant by that. But then later that night, I had the book, and I saw your friend trying to get into Mr. White's shop, and I looked through the window, and all I could see was in the window was he was gone into the back room where the safe is, and Mr. White was hanging from the rafters. He'd after hung himself. So I ran away.
This was
and It was maybe
a couple days ago.
It was maybe the day. Yeah, it was last week. I think it was the day you left. I don't know. I think it was the day you left. And I hid in Daddy's shop, and I couldn't. I had to figure out how to get out from Innsmouth without him seeing me. So I went on.
Okay.
Joe Sargent had to get his bus was broken. Somebody crashed into the back of it, and the bus wasn't running. And I eventually found the bicycle, and I cycled, but I don't think anyone saw me.
Well, okay, you stay here and don't go anywhere. I'll be back later. There's but he kind of reaches into his pocket and his wallet, and he kind of just pulls out like a little money and is like, but here, take this if you're. He said there's food there in the kitchen and coffee and stuff, but just if you need anything and if there's an emergency, here's a couple of bucks.
Oh, thank you very much. I don't think I'll leave here. It's too. I'm so tired. I haven't really slept. It's taken me days. It took me most of the day because I was hiding every time the pushback. I saw a car, I'd hide, and then I had the piece of paper with your address on it or your phone number, and I tried to ring, and I didn't want people to know who I was, so it took me ages to find, and I find your apartment. And you can see she clearly hasn't slept in ages. I've put she's given you the book. The book is now in your inventory, and she just crashes out on the bed, and within minutes she's asleep.
He walks in and he's kind of already was flustered because of the lecture, and he's assuming if Douglas is awake, but he kind of takes, because obviously there's a bit of commotion, so he takes Archie again kind of to the side and is just saying like kind of in a loud whisper. He says like, because I think he's a bit flustered, so I don't really think he's particularly thinking straight. He said, "Did you hear that?" She said she saw Robert.
I heard.
After we were gone. It couldn't, and he starts saying, yay high, yay high, dark hair,
I heard it, but it couldn't be. It must be. She must be confusing it with someone else. Otherwise, I mean,
Last night we saw somebody who looked like they were kind of dead,
I know.
walking around, taking a chunk out of my neck.
There are many things that I don't want to believe here.
He's at the moment. He's going to his desk and pulling out a drawer, putting the book in it, and shutting it, locking it. Just the one locked compartment in his desk.
Okay, so let's say that she's not lying and that she's not confusing anything. What would that mean?
So Douglas
You
is going
think
to get
they
up.
brought him back?
Douglas is going to get up because he's kind of like half asleep. He keeps hearing you mention Robert, like the name Robert. So
and a physical description that fits pretty
yeah.
roughly.
So he's gonna be like.
I think of a shoehorn over there if you want to really shoehorn it into that fucking.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be like, Robert. Do you mean Robert Alden?
Holy shit!
Archie, we got any duct tape around here? Because you need to just take it off my mouth when I'm giving the lecture.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. So the cat's out of the bag, and turning to Douglas, I ask, "What do you know about Robert Alden?"
For one, he's my best friend. He's been.
Oh, Jesus.
He's I've known him past 12, 15 years. He's been my sister's on and off again boyfriend. But he pulls out of his pocket a little antique pocket watch, and on the back it says to DJ from RA. So he's like he gave me this on my 30th birthday, and I haven't heard from him in a number of weeks, and I'd heard he'd come up this way, so I said I'd come looking for him.
When was the last time you heard from him, like specifically?
It would have been before he left. He's from Newbury, isn't he?
Yeah.
Before he left on the boat, like.
Yeah, it would have been before that. It would have been like he said he'd gotten a message from a friend that he'd be back within a week or two, and I haven't heard from him since. So
well, we might have some bad news for you.
Or some good news.
Let's not jump into conclusions here. We were, I don't know if we should just tell you everything. I don't know if you can be trusted. I don't even know what to believe anymore.
Some pretty strange shit has been going on. Shit like what we saw out in the woods. That I don't know how much of that you remember. It was like real.
He's very foggy. He's kind of like vaguely remembers, like he thinks he got into a fight with a random guy in a park, and he like just threw his drink at
well, look. Long story short, Robert and us were mixed up in something. Some people were after all of us, and we got separated, and we weren't sure. Well, we thought he might have been done for, but sounds like maybe he's not up in Innsmouth. So we don't really know what's going on now, but we were with him about a week ago. We haven't heard anything from him either. I thought he was dead.
How do you mean you thought he was dead? What happened to him?
Some psychos, came after us, and then we had to make a getaway. He didn't get away.
Well, but you think he's still alive?
I don't know. That
Well,
kid says he is.
okay, well, I gotta go back to Innsmouth, so I've gotta help Robert.
I would not go there if I were you.
We barely got out alive.
Okay, well,
That place is
Not all
bad.
of us did.
That place is bad news.
Mm. I don't really care at this point about, you go do whatever you want to do, but, just making it clear that we are not advising that, because I do not want your corpse on my conscience.
With that, he kind of slumps back down in the chair and just slowly undoes one of his jars of moonshine and just starts sipping it. He's not like drinking it heavy like he was the night before, but he's kind of like just sipping it to kind of like steady himself. And he's kind of gonna like slump down into a kind of bit of a stupor.
God damn it.
So, turning to Owen, what time is your lecture today? How much time do we have?
Oh, fuck me. Maybe an hour.
Well, what do we do?
You want to come watch me give a lecture on fish?
Mm,
I didn't think so.
I'm doing something else that day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fish, bipedal fish.
Please don't say that name. Don't say that word.
Noted.
There will be food and drinks at the seminar. And to be free food. Also,
Free food?
yeah, free food. Yeah, there'll be a bit of food. Rhodes has in the couple of days in between. Rhodes. I don't know. Were you going to mention that to the guys or not?
I'd say so. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, to Archibald. I'm trying to. Let me just.
You can't remember what it was that we discussed, is it?
I just want to double check. I just want to read through just in case there was anything that was said. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Rhodes will be at the university. Whilst he would not normally go to, because his area is the occult
The
and
occult,
yeah, that sort of stuff. So whilst he would normally not have any interest in the seminar on fish, he has been hearing strange things about one Dr. Owen O'Ratigan and the last couple of days. His Ratigan's name has been popping up a bit.
Yeah, so for Archie and the rest of them, so he basically Owen contacted Professor Rhodes, who had been looking for that book that Waits had, and he said, you should come to my lecture on, I think it would be of interest to you. And he was kind of saying some strange happenings up there, Devil's Reef, and I realized you had an interest in Innsmouth, and I wanted to know. I heard your name mentioned when I was up there researching these strange, fish, and that you were contacted by somebody, and Rhodes wrote back to say, yes, he basically, someone approached him. Is like the wife of a fellow researcher. Basically, it's the Waits body hopping brother, wasn't it? He's in, that guy that was mentioned, who they wanted the book so that they could, continue body hopping and
Rhodes
do
doesn't know that.
No, he doesn't know that. But they said, "Oh, we know of a book in Innsmouth that would be of, of academic interest to you."
Because it's been so long since, and Wyatt's the guy who committed himself, the guy who's saw his daughter being eaten by the deep one. He was keeping a book hidden from his brother. His brother had already body hopped into his daughter's body and had body swapped and had the daughter Azanet Ascent,
Wait.
that's her, Ascent Wait. So he swapped bodies with her and then had her basically killed. So he's now inhabiting the body of his daughter. But that was only an interim step. He wanted to take the body of... so he then married, as an Ascent White, married a poet from the Miskatonic University called Edward Darby. Ascent was actually... showed a very good aptitude for studying the mythos and the occult, and did an undergrad and done a postgrad research, and works for the university as a researcher in the occult. Meanwhile, she's looking for the book. She approached Rhodes and said she needed to get the book for her research, that she had research a bursary and she could fund it. So it was Rhodes then went off, contacted Root, and caused all the commotion down in Innsmouth looking for this book.
So it said, "Oh, Dr. Aratigan, I must say, I never thought our fields of study would intersect, but tales of what you discovered in Innsmouth are most interesting." And then later on, he said, "Of the tome you mentioned, yes, I approached the local, and this is the wife, a fellow lecturer in the occult, Ainsworth Waite, piqued my interest in it and said she needed it for her research." So
So
mentioned the husband and
so Rhodes would seem, possibly, maybe it's a smokescreen, is unaware of what the book is, but he claims he was just trying to get it for one of his researchers, and so
you said at least by reputation he wouldn't be somebody that's known to actually believe in the occult. He just finds it academically.
He starts every lecture and every presentation with his students telling them, you have to realize this is the ravings of mad people and people with a huge imagination. There is nothing true in any. Some of these books you find will sound quite convincing, but there is absolutely no truth in it. It is make-believe. So he's completely...
it's akin to somebody just like studying folklore
or studying religion or something, and they, So that's Owen has been, in the last couple of days, he's been in a bit of paper communication with Dr. Rhodes, just to see what the fuck is going on, because he heard Rhodes' name being mentioned, so he sort of
and he was trying to get the book, so he was just sneakily kind of trying to maybe Rhodes knows more than he's letting on, or has he been led? Why did he have a sudden interest in this book? Where did he hear about the book? Trying to kind of just get information for us to get another lead.
So Rhodes said he would probably attend the lecture.
Now I don't have I don't have I don't have a lecture on ichthyology prepared.
But you've been too busy burying bodies. I do have.
Owen has something.
I do have a map of the university prepared.
Oh, nice. You've done far more homework than I have. He's going to present samples of the deep ones and his own very rudimentary sketches. And stuff like that, and probably get called a crackpot, or worse, a fraud.
I mean, so you could go to the university and talk to Rhodes if you wanted. It'd be one option. You could go to the university and track down Ascent herself. You could go to the university and track down Edward Darby. There was also, Robert did have a tip-off, which he probably told you. There was somebody who wanted to contact him about the gold coins. He had a name, someone in Arkham. I'll dig out the name. You also have the location, 13B Marsh Street, which was some connection to Dr. J's operation. So that's somewhere that you could go. Where else could you go? There was also Edmund had a colleague who had reached out to him about some Latin documents that he wanted Edmund's help in translating. A guy called Charles Grant, who was a sea captain. And remember, behind all this as well, so that's another lead you could track down. Also is the lead that in September, there is a boat leaving for Passage West that's meant to take gold there. The gold that they're collecting from Innsmouth. So they're your potential leads that you have.
Could try bluff my way through as a Latin translator. I've got a 40 in it. He speaks a bit of Latin because of taxonomy and whatever else.
I mean, the thing is,
general,
whatever about Robert's stuff, because you probably don't, unless he left it in the van or something, his letter that he got, or his telegram about the coins, Edmund's contact details about the person the letter he got were probably on his body. So you do have access to them, and I imagine you would have gone through his pockets or, like whatever. So you have Edmund's connections.
Make sure he doesn't have his ID on him.
Yeah,
when we.
You can you can have it that Robert left his papers and his stuff in the glove box or something of the van, so you have access to his. It was only a telegram he got.
Post him in here.
Yeah.
I'll just post it here.
Yeah, it was a telegram he got. So you have that. So there's the lead from Edmund, the lead from Robert, the Dr. Rhodes, the research assistant, the body hopping Wyatt's brother in the taking the body of Aysint. There's Edward Darby. And there's the House 13B, the Dr. J headquarters, which was 13B Marsh Street.
Well, I suppose we're.
So that's. I'm just trying to. That's the stuff.
No. Sorry, well, we're going to the university, or Owen is anyway. He's going to be speaking to Rhodes after the lecture, regardless. Whether or not we. I mean, who knows what happens? Someone, Ainsith Waits or Edward Darby could be at the back of the lecture hall for all. Who knows what will happen when we get there? But I got in about 45 minutes. I got to be.
Right. So let's go to the university, and then maybe during the lecture, Archibald could follow one of the other leads. Although.
Even actually, that's not a bad idea. Archie, with his the lawman's eye, you could not be listening to the lecture, but sort of keeping an eye on the crowd to see is anyone a bit Innsmouthy, come to attend. Is anybody watching us?
Maybe. I mean, Archibald would. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but Archibald would stay clear of anything that has to do with fish. So yeah, so that lecture is one big no-go. But if there are other leads at the university, what
Waits and Darby? Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So I could.
They've got nameplates on their offices. I'm sure I'd know roughly where they are.
Yeah.
The departments, at least.
I would pursue one of those two leads.
Oh. No, Rhodes. Once it's Rhodes is going to be there, so you could search Rhodes' office.
But right.
We know he'll be at the lecture.
Of course. Yeah.
Come in case if Waits, or maybe just stick around for before I start talking about the fish, because if one of the other two. If Waits in particular, Ainseth Waits, if she is there, then we could search her office, but definitely Rhodes. Pardon the pun, if one of the bigger fish doesn't show up.
No, yeah, it's a deal, dude. It's we're doing it. Are we bringing the drunk guy, by the way?
I'm just thinking.
He might say to Douglas.
I don't know what Douglas should do, because I know Douglas would want to go to Innsmouth because if he thinks Robert's alive, but for the progression of the story, it doesn't make sense because it's
does
can't
he...
run me being over there and ye being there.
How much does? Well, the gold might interest him if Robert,
Yeah.
Would he? It depends how much of that he's privy to, or if they're, with how close they were.
Are you going to leave him in your apartment with Ruth?
No, I would probably insist that he not stay.
So he's not going to be in the apartment.
Yeah, look,
No.
I'm going to say that look, because you're the last to go to see Robert, and that you might think that he may be alive, that I'm going to go with G, and you're my closest link to him actually.
Okay.
The closest
Yeah.
possibility of me actually finding him is by following E.
Yeah, maybe just say after. Look, I gotta go take care of this, but we can talk. Maybe in more detail, and maybe we can actually help each other out here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because I don't know what to believe about Robert.
I'm just going to go with G, and I'm actually going to leave the moonshine on the table and grab a mug of coffee.
Yeah. Because we can talk kind of openly because we both have you know, what do they call it, compromise. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you know, we can send you to jail, and you can say we were doing shady shit. You know.
Yeah.
We can always blackmail him.
Mutual destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you are standing outside the main steps to the main entrance to the Miskatonic University, place that Owen knows quite well, and there is there's a sign around here saying, you know, university lecture, blah 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 blah. It's a list of the seminar registration, and it's going like you know. In the Glucksman room registration, you know, it's 10 o'clock and all this sort of stuff, and it has a list of stuff on it. And the doors are big, sort of, you can't really see it through them, there's a glare on them, but they're just glass sort of doors there. Yeah, you can go in, yeah. So you go in, and it's sort of a flagstone, quite, and you notice there, the door to your left it says, there's a tally plate on the door, and it says Dr. H. Rhodes, Department of Occult and Miscomatosis.
He's just gonna knock. And
okay, so you're
poke his head
hello,
in.
yeah, yes, come in.
This is Professor Rhodes.
Yes, that is I. And who might you be?
Oh well, just before all the chaos later, I just wanted to formally introduce myself. It's Dr. Radigan.
Oh, my good man. Do come in. Yes. You have very interesting times in down in Innsmouth. Very interesting letter.
Yeah, well, I hope it's going to be a very interesting lecture.
Yes, well, I wouldn't get your hopes up too much for that, my boy.
Well, we'll see.
There's only so much you can talk about fish, but yes.
Well, yeah, there's a bit of a story around the fish. I think you know, there's maybe something of interest to a man in your field.
Okay, yes. Innsmouth's a strange place. I mean, I do.
Very strange.
I do. I usually go on. You wouldn't think by my age, but I usually go on sort of field trips, and I've been to some unusual places. I never would have thought there would have been one right on our own doorstep down there.
Well, I'm hoping. I'll give you a little sneak peek, but I'm hoping to get a little field trip, a little expedition out there, to Devil's Reef, and well, I think there might be something of interest to you there too, Dr. Rhodes.
Speaking of which, did you any chance did you find further your inquiries on that was the Book of Dagon? Did you get
yeah, I haven't turned anything up yet, but I'm to be quite honest, just as interested as you are, because yeah, what was he say? There's, you know, fishy things going on down there in Innsmouth. More than one variety.
Yeah. I said, that reminds me, I promised to give you a book, didn't I? So he reaches into the drawer. It's already in your inventory. And he gives you out a book, and he goes, now, this isn't the original. The original would obviously be far too... I mean, I'm not saying that you know, none of us could take it out of the library, but this is a copy. It is an old copy. It's thought to be in the 14th century. It's a complete utter hogwash. But quite interesting. And this one is, I think it's written in English. Yes, it's written in English.
Perfect.
So, but it is still a bit.
He says, "Don't worry." Yeah, Professor Rhodes, I'm a staunch Irish Catholic. You know, I was raised on.
Yeah, I was good. Yes. It's complete hogwash. That's why that research assistant, she seems to be quite, I don't know, seems to be getting carried away with it. Which actually she was asking about you as well. Now, like, yes, that's right now. And he goes over to his book and he looks and he goes, yes, you seem to be in the last couple of days. I to be honest, I hadn't heard really. I mean, obviously that's nothing. I mean, like we move in different circles, of course, but obviously I'm not probably not known in the marine biology department. But and then all of a sudden, after your letter, I had 2 people contacted me. No, 3 people actually. Now that I think of it, there was
Really?
Aysint herself. Her husband then accidentally ran into me in the corridor, which was a bit strange because I've never seen him up this part. I mean, I had met him before at soirees and stuff. Where he
Well, I think the laureate usually, likes
Yeah.
to stay scribbling in his hovel.
Yeah, so yes, you have to be impoverished to be an artist, I believe. And then I was sorry, I must find this gentleman's name now. It was a very unusual name. He was he approached me. It was very strange. Actually, I don't even know where I met him. And I'd completely forgotten about the encounter till just there now, which is odd in itself. I don't normally forget things. Theo. And it was it was also Theo Partland, but he got very irate when I started calling him Mr. Partland, and he emphasised that his middle initial was Y, which was a bit odd. So Theo Y Partland, that's Theo, and I called him Theodore at one stage, and he said that wouldn't do either. So Theo space Y and then Partland, Partlan. Good Irish name that actually, obviously. Partland.
Yeah.
I know the McPartlins.
Really?
Yeah, the McPartlins. Except one of their boys, he's a bit of a drink problem. Ant they call him. Ant McPartlin. I don't know. He's a bit of a showman, bit of an old clown. Hangs around with a guy called Declan Doherty. Ant and Deck they call themselves. But yes, bit of a rogue, So anyway, I asked him was he related to the McPartlins, but he said no, he was Theo Y. Partland. Anyway, he was asking about you, and did I know, and I said, you attended, or I said you were given. He seemed to be unaware that you were giving a presentation today, which was a bit odd.
Sure.
So yes, you seem to be a man of the moment, as they say.
This man, this Portland fella. What did he look like? Maybe I ran into him before, and I've similarly forgotten.
Do you know what now? I'm finding it very hard to recall his features in
one of those faces. Yeah.
Yeah. At the time, I remember he seemed to be very charismatic, and he was very easy to talk to, and the type of person I felt I would like to spend more time with. But then, as soon as he'd left the office, I must say, I was like, do you know when you wake up and you've had a very vivid dream? And then you remember it, and then a few minutes later, it's very hard. It was almost like that. And you know what? Apart from the fact that I met you now, and it was in the same place, he was standing exactly where you are, and I think I wouldn't have recalled it at all. And I wouldn't if I hadn't written his name down as soon as he was saying it. And, yes, it's very strange.
Very strange. Be careful, Professor, or you'll start to believe in your own field of study.
Yes, no, that'll be yes. Well, maybe for a bit of.
I'll keep an eye on you, and if you see me swimming out in the Atlantic, feeding on algae, then you can.
No one should swim in the Atlantic. I believe there's people who do that for recreation.
Yeah. I saw a young man, Mr. Houdini, apparently.
Oh yes,
every morning.
Yeah, and I'd say he'll live to a right old age.
Yeah. As long as nobody punches him in the stomach.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, look, Professor, I will see you in the theater."
Yes, I'll see you in there. I'm looking forward to it.
And it's like to Archibald Portland mean anything to you?
Sorry, what?
Did you say Portland mean anything to you, Theo?
Doesn't.
Oh, good.
Did it?
No.
No.
Never heard it. Never heard it before.
Sure. Okay.
What's with it? I suppose we've been standing outside the door the whole time and not.
I presume you could hear.
Yeah.
I mean, you tell me.
Probably.
We've been Archibald's been eavesdropping.
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah.
I think he would have been.
Owen
yeah.
seems to be assuming that you
Yeah.
heard mostly what was being.
Yeah.
He made a point of leaving. He left the door open,
Yeah.
was kind of half in and in the door.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
This wouldn't have a major
Well-
amount of context for like understanding what's going on per se.
Yeah. Given that I only have a very rough idea what's going on, and I've written it, I would say, yeah.
I do
DJ has
like,
no clue what's going on.
Oh, we're fucked.
That makes it a lot better, actually. Thank you.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I do. I do like the sound of this Partland guy. Kind of immediately, forget him being there. Quite cool. So,
Could just
yeah,
be
I mean, I
very
suppose
boring.
we're just we're making our way to the.
So as you go up there, you notice in the corridor there are signs up for registration, and so there's a sign for registration down this way, and then there's a sign at these doors here. Well, you'd notice anyway, Owen, because you're the guy giving it. So into here is the Gibson room, which is where the presentation is going to be.
Okay.
So that's the sort of university.
He's going to be at the lectern, just
Yeah.
kind of preparing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there's people, there's people in there. There's people getting stuff. There's colleagues of yours in there. They're getting stuff ready. They're getting their notes. Putting it. Obviously, they're doing whatever in the 20s you did of getting your PowerPoint presentation onto the laptop before the conference, and suddenly realizing you brought the fucking wrong one, and you actually deleted the one you're meant to be doing. So there's all that sort of commotion going on, but with paper and whatever I presume there was probably had boards made up, to put up and go, this is what a fish person looks like. Sorry, Andy.
Let's.
When did they have
Power
slide like film projector? The kind of single film. The little rotator.
Move the slide on there.
In the 40s, I think. Anyway,
so.
Is it 40s and 50s?
Yeah, I don't think in the 1926 there was. It might have even been seminars. Look, it doesn't really matter.
At most, you'd probably have to have a film reel, and it would be very expensive.
Yeah. So I certainly don't think in your week that you were back in between burying dead bodies, you are failing to bury dead bodies, had much of a chance.
He has small sketches, and he will be drawing on a chalkboard.
Okay. You probably you have those. The string ones, where you write on one and then you go up, they're counterbalanced.
Yeah.
And they go to big. Yeah.
And he will. He has his dissection kit.
Mm-hmm.
He is opening his specimen jars. He's not displaying them publicly yet. He's kind of peeking at them and making sure they're all neat, but not wanting to.
Okay, if you're not going to do anything, or not going to do anything, but like obviously you're there a bit early. It's coming up. There's people registering. There's a bell rings and someone says gets up onto the
he's
stage.
Watching to see who comes in. I don't know whether or not he would know what either Waits or Darby.
I'll tell you what.
Like. Probably not.
Wait, it's probably unlikely, but I'll tell you what. Give me a look roll for Ascent, and we'll see. Do you?
Yeah. Where's my? Oh, sorry, my sheet. Wait. That roll, I heard it.
It did, yeah, 49. So no. And give us a look roll for Edward Darby.
If only I could spend luck points on a luck.
So you actually, you do know what Darby looks like.
Maybe a bit more public as the poet.
Yeah, you've seen him around stuff. He's probably been doing not presentations. He's probably in the local paper when the college wants him to do stuff. He's that, So he's a bit of like a
giving the addresses,
that sort of stuff. So, well, he's not doing the one today. So you do know what Darby looks like. People are filling in, they're milling about, and someone's saying that there's coffee being served in the garden. If you want to make your way through, and blah 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 blah, that sort of stuff. And there's people filtering out, and someone opens the door there. and there's people filtering out that way, and you can see from through the door there's trestle tables and there's coffee cups and people are making small talk and they're pottering about out there.
Mm-hmm. He is gonna give an eye to see if he sees Darby, and if he does, he'll watch her because I don't know if there is a woman that maybe stands next to him or they're chatting. It's possible it could be Decent, but
Yeah.
he's not sure. He's trying to prepare his lecture, but also kind of keep an eye, for
Actually,
anything
now that
suspicious.
since you've raised that there, so you do know what Darby looks like.
Anyone he recognizes.
So you do spot Darby, and Darby is talking. He's standing in the group of a couple of other people, and there's a gentleman and a woman there who you don't recognize. But I don't have tokens up for them. Well, not yet. I don't.
Oh, so I saw someone out in the garden.
Yeah, so that's Darby in the garden. You recognize him. There's other people there around him, but I threw his token up because you recognize his token.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's just.
And they're just standing around drinking coffee. Did you say
there was a woman?
There's a woman. He's talking. He's in a group, and there's a man and a woman there.
Oh, he's talking to a man and a woman.
A man and a woman, yeah.
Okay. He is gonna kind of cough and just.
Well, you're on the lectern at this point in time. Are you going to go out to the garden?
Yeah, no, he's getting he's just sort of strolling down and getting Archie's attention.
Oh, Archie's just Oh yeah, sorry, coughing. I thought you meant he was coughing outside. I was saying.
Yeah, sorry, he's just.
So what? That guy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Darby.
Oh. Okay.
Oinker.
He just said if he.
Darby's oinker.
If he stays for the lecture, and there's a question of whether he knows where his office is.
Yeah, but no, you would know, and you would tell me.
If he's the poet laureate, I might not know where Waits is. She's also in the occult department with Rhodes, right? So,
now, Rhodes is quite a high-profile university lecturer. He's a professor of the department. He brings in a lot of money for the university. He's quite famous. He's got a nice office sort of in
right
the,
there at the front,
Aulus Maximus type of thing. He's right beside the big room that only gets opened up for special occasions. The Department of the Arts and Humanities is probably over in the more neglected side of the university, over with the Department of Biology in a different wing. So the chances of randomly coming across the office is probably maybe luck, but that's why there's luck.
Could say maybe at the very least you might find Darby's over in look for all the beatnik students and they'll lead you to the poetry department.
All the teenagers being ironic.
Students aren't for another 40 years, but okay.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I couldn't think of.
They'd be all doing the Charleston.
Oh yeah, or the swing poppers or whatever they had going on at the time.
We should have done the modern Cthulhu, which is set in the 80s. At least we'd have known the fucking terms.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's for another campaign.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, so Archibald is looking out the door at Darby, and Darby looks around and sees you staring at him, and he's doing is he looking at me or whatever? You know, that sort of a way when you catch someone making eye contact and he's looking behind us.
Okay, yeah. Can I do what would that be, stealth or?
Well, he's sort of seen you now, so it's a bit late to be stealthy.
Owen, as a distraction, Owen has started to just move past Archibald and out into the different people.
Darby doesn't pay much heed to you. So he saw you coming out the door, and he's just And he leans forward to the man and woman he's at, and he says something. How far away are you, actually? Okay, you're 15 feet away. I'll tell you what, Archibald, give us a listen. But you're looking for an extreme success on this because he's whispering and you're 15 feet away.
Shit. Well, I've been.
Can I give a listen from?
You can give a listen as well, yeah. But you're certainly going to be extreme because you're half deaf. And
yeah, and I got fucking.
Oh my God!
Listen, and that's
Look
and
at
that was really
yeah.
Oh man,
I am listening like a motherfucker today. I mean,
I know. Owen's gone. What? So, you hear him turning around to the people, and he's going. Either of you recognize that guy there? He seems to have been staring at me. Do you know who he is? Is he on the staff? So they look around and they say, which guy? The guy in the door? No, don't know who he is. And then they just go back to drinking their tea or their coffee.
Okay, so I suppose I could either try to eliminate some of the suspicion by going over.
Say eliminate him. You shoot him. Blow his head off.
Get ridiculous with a one shot. Three bullets, 3 targets.
Yeah.
Everybody freeze!
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, you could eliminate some suspicion, yeah. Go on.
Suspicion by going over and introducing myself. The problem is I don't know a lot about the guy, but of course I might.
You got to ask yourself, right. Punk. Are you feeling lucky?
Yeah, no, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't want to push it. It seems like kind of I might be fucked no matter what I do. Because I'd be getting into a situation, and
I'll say to you, there's a lot of people around. There's a lot of you're in a very public place. Well, public place, but you're in a place where there's a lot of people sitting around drinking coffee.
Okay. I'm gonna turn away and pretend nothing happened. It's probably going to be a shitty idea, but...
okay, so... is anyone else doing anything? DJ, are you...
He's not really doing much, because he's still kind of in his own head about Robert, to be honest. He's kind of just sitting there, kind of just thinking constantly, basically.
There was one thing I noticed on your character sheet. You're quite well educated for a guy doing moonshine. I noticed the stereotypes. You have an 80 on education. I think.
Education.
Yeah.
Chemistry.
Yeah. Or mixology is the good.
I did have his science was mixology.
Yeah. So whereas Dr. O'Ratigan is an 82 and you're an 80, so. I was just wondering. I mean, that doesn't mean I don't know. We don't know why you're an alcoholic. You could have been a professor of Newtonian mechanics or something, and you just turned into a raving alcoholic. So
happens.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, I was just curious why you were so well educated. Well, maybe that's part of your backstory that we yet to find out before you die. So okay, you're presently standing in the garden. Archibald is pretending to admire the lintel in the door, and If no one's going to do anything else, people are going to be finishing up their coffee and going in for the lectures.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think...
there's a bell rings and the master of ceremonies goes, okay people, if we can start making our way in, we have our first of our speakers. I see Dr. O'Ratigan is here, so we'll be starting momentarily.
Yeah, he starts making his way. He's very, very tired. Up to the. Yeah, I think he's probably does not look good. He's probably not going to help his case by looking dark circles under his eyes, and his hair's very combed very well, and it's, you know, he looks very tired. And God, yeah, he is. I think he is, you know, essentially the gist of the lecture being, like, he'll start talking about on a recent expedition to Innsmouth, and also I had found samples around was it Rockport? What was it?
It was the island.
Rockport.
It was the island. No, you came from Rockport. It was the island off Rockport. It
Oh
was,
yeah, something
Beacon Point or something.
That sounds, yeah.
Where the lighthouse was.
Right.
It was so long ago.
Yeah. So yeah,
Point Break.
you know, and he's Point Break, and he starts it's more it's just scientific. He's saying, oh, you know, I found these specimens, and he's just going into the biology, and, you know, this is what I claimed, and then he's giving sketches of what
So
the deep one looks like.
People came in as they did. The doors were closed as people were sitting down. You did notice Darby walked in. I don't know if you saw his character. He walked in. The two people he was with, the man and the woman, sat down at the end. He said something to them and went out the side door past Archibald. He gave Archibald a bit of a look as he went past, to see did he recognise him. And Dr. Rhodes came in and sat down the back. So he's sitting there. And the pews are... You don't have... you actually have more people than you expected to be at it. So, and you can hear people... give me a listen check there, please, Owen. Actually, all of you give me a listen check. And we'll see what different things you hear from the different parts of the room.
That. Look at how I'm listening. Isn't that beautiful?
You're the...
What did you get on the other one? Like a
8, and he got it better. So the other pair are fucking oblivious anyway. So you hear, Archie, that they're saying, "Oh, yes, I didn't know of this chap until the other day, and there seems to be quite a buzz going around the campus. His name is mentioned in several places. Seems to be a bit of a crazy guy. So anything could happen here, type of thing. So you get the distinct impression, Archibald, that people are not necessarily here for the lecture, but they've heard that maybe he's a bit of a fruitcake, and they're hoping for a bit of gossip or a bit of scandal or something that might be observed. Darby, as he was going past, said, you heard him muttering that he'd no time for this mockery of somebody, and that's why he left. So Darby wasn't too impressed with the way people were only here for as titillation or joviality. And Rhodes is sitting down there, resting up against the back, as Owen starts off on his drawings. And there's a bit of, as you present some, how deep are you going in? Are you going to do any drawings of deep ones or anything?
He's drawing, to the best of his ability, you know, a bipedal fishman, you know,
so
side view with the fins, and he's holding up the spines, the projectiles.
Okay, and to the people, this projectiles just look like something from a thing. They just look like something from a porcupine. And there's a bit of laughing going on behind. You know, there's people trying not to laugh, and there's a bit of that sort of going on.
Yeah, you can tell he's dying up there. You know.
I feel like Archibald would be either pursuing that one guy or going to Rhodes' office.
Whichever he thinks is.
Yeah, would Owen have told him where? No, obviously I was there.
Yeah, so, I think he would only probably know the department. He's probably never even really visited.
Sorry, wasn't Rhodes the guy whose office we were just at?
Yes.
Rhodes is the guy, who knows it. Yeah, Darby, know exactly where. He'd only know the department, but Rhodes, that was the office that he was.
So I feel like I could pursue Darby, but that might be bad. He seems suspicious. It might be the most interesting thing to do and the most action thing to do, but it might also be the most potentially dangerous thing to do. Whereas just messing about in Rhodes' office while he's just sitting at a lecture, that would
Yeah.
be a bit more safe. So I think that's what I'm going to do, so as to not draw too much attention to myself, even more than I already have. So, I'm going wherever Rhodes' office is. God damn it!
And he's saying, and I would, like to. I will need research assistance. I want to, sometime later this year, be chartering an expedition, research study out to Devil's Rock in Innsmouth, where I believe that there may be a pod of these creatures.
So there's a bit of, yeah, it's going. Oh yeah, someone says it's a pity that they alcohol is still banned, because it'd be nice to have a bit of refreshments and to watch this carry on. So yeah, there's
He's droning on.
And someone puts up their hands to ask a question.
Well, it's not. Yes, yes, sir. Go on.
Will there be food at this? And someone else laughs. So Archibald, as you open the door into the office, you see a woman with black hair, sort of at one of the drawers on Dr. Rhodes' desks, and she looks up at you, and she goes, she's sort of taken aback for a second, and she goes, yes, how may I help you?
Archibald Darren Walters, Ipswich Police Department. Pull out my badge. I'm here on a classified case. Who might you be, miss?
I'm one of Dr. Rhodes' research assistants.
Okay. Well, if you would...
Dr. Rhodes is in the seminar at the moment. Would you like me to fetch him?
Let's hope that won't be necessary. I'm just
get him. No problem.
No, I'm just looking for some information at this point.
Okay, well maybe I'll be able to help you.
Yes. What would be a really great thing to ask her?
Out to dinner? I don't know.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Could mention the book, because maybe her reaction.
Was it was you, Andy? No, it was Ben tried to chat up the Viking Norse crazy Carrie's sister, wasn't it? In D&D.
I think so. Yeah. She thought I was
coming on to you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, what you? She's there. Yes, officer.
Let's see. You guys are more than welcome to provide any advice.
Well, we're in a different room.
Maybe,
yeah, but like off game, like
telepathy.
Maybe something
Ask
about
her
the book,
about.
or something that would maybe throw her off guard. I don't know. Sorry, that's just.
What I see that you obviously only want to talk to the professor. Perhaps I should go and get him for you.
No. Well, it kind of depends on you. How well do you know Professor Rhodes?
Well, I mean, as well as a research assistant. I mean, I'd work. I would say. I mean, I've worked on certain assignments together. We've been on some field trips together. Well, not just the two of us, obviously. Not that would be inappropriate. But yes, in the department. I mean, I know him. I mean, he's a colleague and he's my boss. But I know him well from an academic point of view. I know him well, but as to his social, if that's life, I wouldn't really know. He is married, All right.
No, well, I'm
Professor
not
Jim.
very interested in him personally as I am professionally,
Yeah.
and I think you might know. I think you might be helpful to police matters in this
Oh.
regard. What kind of research do you do with Professor Rhodes?
Well, it would be most is research. It would be generally would be a lot of cataloging some of the tomes that we have in the library, cross-referencing in them. There might be something mentioned in one, and we'd cross-reference it. There would be a bit of translation work, and then sometimes we actually we rely a lot on the local, would you believe, antique dealers and bric-a-brac people, because people find stuff, and when they tend to not to know what to do with it. Some people might contact a museum, but most people these days are looking to make a quick buck out of it, and they would try and sell it. And a lot of the antique dealers would know to approach us, that maybe the university might be interested in stuff. We found an arrow once from the Miskatonic riverbed and stuff like that. So that's sort of general stuff I do. And I'd have my own field of research as well that I'd be carrying on. I'd be looking into some things for myself, but that's the type of research that I would assist the doctor with. And he'd be very knowledgeable, like about the gods and that. Like we come up in the tomes and consistencies of it, and trying to put an overall picture on it, an order out of chaos, as it might be.
What tomes would that be?
Oh, there's a list of them. I mean, there's let me think off the top of my head. There is that's the weapons table. There's Al Azif. There's Azaz and others.
Kasat Aquadingen?
Yeah, there's yes.
I think that was the one.
Yes, that's in the seas. There's Azoth and others, but I wouldn't really rate that. My husband wrote that. There's Black Book of the Skull would be another one. Ones that we've recently. There's Dr. Vermis Mysteries. There's Cultus de Ghouls. I mean, there's a lot of them. There's of course the Necronomicon, which is probably the most famous of them all. But yes, I mean, and yeah, some of them are quite modern, and some of them are quite old. The more modern ones tend to be the easiest, obviously, to read, but contain the less interest. Whereas some of the old ones would be very hard to understand. It could take you years to read through. As I said, like that rubbish my husband wrote was a week it would all take you to get through that. But anyway, yes, there'll be various different ones. At the moment, I'm actually working on, reading Hydrophena, which is, it's in Latin, and it was written by Mr. Gantley. It's an unknown date. And I'm cross-referencing that with an old French work called Livre de Yvon, which dates to the 13th century, from Gaspard du Nord, and that's quite a work. And I'm cross-referencing the two of them.
Off game.
Thank you. Rambling here.
Did Archibald hear? Did we hear about the Necronomicon at the Marsh place in Innsmouth?
I don't think it was a
I don't
Necronomicon.
think so.
No, from, if you're asking me, the Necronomicon, that's the first in game that the book's been mentioned. The books that have been mentioned is the Book of Dagon is the one that Aesint was trying to get, which is the body hopping one, and the other one that Ben has just been given by Rhodes is the
Cathat Aquadingen?
Yeah, it's one about nautical creatures. Cathat Aquadingen, yeah. So you could ask her about Cathat. You could ask. You could ask her about that if you wanted to.
What would you know about the Book of Dagon?
Oh, the Book of Dagon. The Book of Dagon. Give me a look roll there, would you please?
Right. I can never find that.
It's over to the left. It's not in with the
Oh yeah, I
skills.
think it's is it just above hit points? I think.
Yeah, it's
It is,
over
yeah.
to the left. Yeah,
Next to
somewhere.
kind of
Yeah.
technically
Oh
say.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's tucked away.
Oh,
All right. Woo.
Well, okay, so she says, absolutely nothing. I've never heard of it, and you can tell straight away she's lying through her pretty little teeth.
Yeah. Look, ma'am, like I said, I'm a police officer and I'm investigating a very, very serious case here. People's lives are at stake, and I've done enough interrogations in my time to know when somebody's lying to me and when they're not. So I'm going to ask you again, nicely, what can you tell me about the Book of Dagon?
Okay, so she did a look roll of her own there to see could she get away with it, and she goes, she goes, yes, I know the professor was had mentioned it, that he was looking for it, and he'd heard that maybe it was down. There was a copy of it somewhere around Massachusetts, and he was trying to narrow down on where the copy was.
And what did he find out?
He didn't, as far as I know, he was talking that he had a lead with the chap who's given the presentation today, that maybe he knew something about it, and that's why he was going to go to the talk to see was it mentioned at the talk. And he told me not to, if anybody else came looking for the book, to say I didn't know anything about it.
And why would he say something like that?
Well, there'll be often a rival between the different researchers. There's only these books come up very, very rarely, and when they do, it's a big thing for whoever finds them. So there's a lot of he's a big reputation, and if anybody else was to find the book, especially if it was somebody who wasn't even researching the mythos, that it would be quite embarrassing.
Ma'am, I know you're a researcher yourself, and apart from any rivalry there may or may not be between any researchers at this place, why else would he want to keep it a secret?
Sometimes the books can be there's sometimes are private collectors, and the books can be sold to the private collectors, and when that happens, the university then loses, and society loses access to them. So it would be quite normal to, if there's a lead on a book, is not to, and plus as well, if the antique dealers all knew that he was looking for something specific, if it came up, several things can happen. People have made forgeries to sell, and people have put up the price, and they go to private collections. So generally speaking, if we're hot on the trails of a book, we would try and, like, I put it to you, sir, when you're carrying out an investigation, I'm sure you don't tell all your suspects everything that you have in your case file.
Well, listen, ma'am, this is a matter of life and death. I know what's going on in Innsmouth. I've been there and seen it with my own eyes. The Book of Dagon should not be in the wrong hands.
I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage, sir, because I've never seen the book, so I don't know what's in it, so I can't speak. And these are all only fictional. These books are all the ramblings of crazy people. So I'm not sure how the book itself. Well, I mean, apart from people fight over these things, and some people go a bit crazy with them. But apart from that, I don't see how it can be. It's only a book after all.
Yeah, well,
Is there any other books you'd like information on? Perhaps ones that I'm knowledgeable of?
what was the necro something?
The Necronomicon.
Yes.
Oh yes, well the Necronomicon is quite a work. It dates back to Theodorus Philatus, and it seems to it's in Greek originally, and it's 950. It dates back to, and it's a list of, and she goes, spells from different parts of the mythos.
And where would the Necronomicon be right now?
Well, we actually have, there are several copies of it. We have a Latin version of it, and we have a copy of the original Greek, but it's not the original Greek one.
Could you take me to one of those, please?
Oh, absolutely not, sir. No, not a chance. I would need, the only people that get into that part of the library would have to have written letters from the dean. These books are very, very old and are kept out of the way. And I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't be organised, but that would certainly be something that I wouldn't be able to organise straight away. You'd have to talk to Dr. Rhodes. He would organise that for you, sir.
Okay.
Nothing personal, sir. Obviously, it's just.
Yeah. No, I understand. Off game, I suppose I can tell that she's been telling the truth.
I'll tell you. Give me a psychology test, and I'll tell you if you pass. I'll tell you which bits she's lied to you about, if she has lied.
Actually, also just out of game, I'm thinking because assuming Archie will relay the information, then I'm thinking does Theodorus Philatus sound similar to Theo Partland?
Yeah, I've literally jotted that down as well. Arrow.
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah.
My question mark.
What's Theodorus Philatus?
I thought that was the Necronomicon.
Oh, the guy who wrote it.
Greek.
Oh yeah.
You just mentioned him.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was saying, where did you get that from? I was saying, that was a book. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can ask her. So actually, you don't. You think? Yeah, it looks like she's been telling you the truth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, yeah, you're going to ask her about.
Yeah, is there a connection between Theodorus Philatus and Theo something?
Theo Y. Partland out again.
Theo Y. Partland, yeah. Partland.
So she goes, well, Theo Philatus wrote, correlated, I'm just looking for more stuff on the Necronomicon. Yes, he's dead a long time. This other gentleman, no, I'm not sure of the name. No, it doesn't ring a bell with me, I'm sorry.
And how convinced am I of that?
Give me a psychology test again, please.
He got 10 in psychology. Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, you think she's telling the truth? Yeah, you don't know.
Mm-hmm. If I were to mess around in there for a bit off game, what would I be looking for?
Well, off game as well. She's not going to let you mess around in there without, she's not going to just leave. She's not going to leave her boss's office, leave a stranger in there, like. So, she'll either hoosh you out. She's not,
Well, I'm kind of I can go loose cannon on her if I want to. So she would damn well have to.
You could ask her about the other book that Ben got.
Oh yeah. How much do you know about
Chat Aquadin and
aqueduct thingy?
yeah. Because yes, that is a book I am familiar with. So are you talking about the Latin or the English version?
Do any of us speak Latin? Do any in the party speak Latin? Has that come up ever?
A little bit. I've got a 40 in Latin, so like by comparison, his English is 80. So I suppose he speaks Latin about half as well as he speaks.
Everybody's default language for your own language is 80, actually. So
yeah,
so
that's
40,
what I'm assuming.
yeah.
You know,
So
just
40's
by
quite
comparing
good.
like 80's fluency.
Yeah, so
But
40's quite
academically,
good.
I don't think he's going to be carrying on like a conversation in Latin. You know.
He would know how to parse it and how to, take him time, but he'd get there.
Yeah, he would have learned it. Well, actually, I suppose not even taxonomically. Just I suppose even still in the 20s, wouldn't be that uncommon. I mean, like they used to. I think
in the 20s in the Catholic school, they were definitely still teaching it.
Oh God, yeah,
because even in the Abbey, Mikey, like in our secondary school, I think pretty much like maybe 10 years at most before we went into school. Like there was Chalky White was the Latin teacher.
My school had stopped it, but there
three
was
teachers in our school that retired while we were there that taught Latin.
Yeah,
there was lads.
My school didn't do Latin, but there was other guys I used to hang around with, and they were doing Latin in the 80s.
Yeah.
There was lads doing Latin to the late 80s anyway, which were Christian Brothers school.
Yeah, so
we started secondary school in 2004, and them teachers were like they used to teach.
So look, there's definitely in the 1920s a well-educated Massachusetts person would have been doing Latin in school. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you learn more for taxonomy and Latin
names. I'm sure all the fucking
whatever.
fish names and all that stuff.
So that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly.
Would Archibald have any idea whether Owen's copy was the Latin or the English version?
I don't think so. I don't think Owen has really looked at it yet. Rhodes kind of gave him the book, and then we headed to the lecture hall.
Yeah, it seemed to go pretty fast. Everything. So I'm.
Where did you come across the Chasangua then? By the way.
Sorry.
Where did you come across this book? I presume it's the English one because, as far as I know, the only Latin copy is in the British Museum in London.
Well, how much do you know about the English one?
Oh, the English one. There's much more copies of that. We have several of them here. They're actually not even in the any body of with a doctorate would probably be able to sign one out of the library. It pertains to a species known as the deep ones, but the English book there's quite fundamental. It's quite flawed. The English version of it, it alludes to having several spells in it for calling deep ones and calling the dead Father Dog, summoning Father Dogon and that. So essentially somebody who has read the book can summon deep ones or God of Dagon. Yes.
How much do you know about all that, the deep ones and Dagon?
It's not an area that I'm too familiar with. There would be people more versed in it. My sphere of research of the outer gods. See, Dagon is not. I know we're going to get all sort of caught up in theory of the outer gods, but some people believe Dagon is an outer god, but he's not. Dagon isn't. Dagon is just a deep one that the deep ones allegedly worship in their universe, in their mythos. So to be honest, a lot of us researchers that would be research the outer gods wouldn't have much interest in these gods. Dagon would be too low down the pecking order. So I mean, yes, from what my readings of, Dagon is just a conflated deep one himself.
Interesting.
I don't think one would make much of a career out of studying Dagon compared to Azagoth or Nyarlathotep or Yogan Bosch or whatever his fucking name is. Yargathoth.
Josh.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Lamb Rogan Josh.
Lamb Rogan Josh, yeah.
Josh Groban?
yeah. So she said, anyway, it said, we probably should be moving on, and she goes to move out the door.
Well, like I said, ma'am, I'm here on police matters,
Yes,
so
yes.
if you wouldn't mind,
I think perhaps, officer, if there's, and she closes the door, if there's anything more, and she puts a key in and locks it, maybe we should continue this down at the police station, I think. It's been nice chatting about this, but yes, I think now I've got chores to be going on with.
I'm just gonna just gently and discreetly pulling out my gun and and showing it to her and say, I think you need to let me back in right now, or there will be trouble.
And she goes, I think, sir, you need to put that away before you get injured.
Oh shit. And how would that be, ma'am?
She goes, I think if you were a real policeman, that you would be behaving in a different manner.
Well, you want to find out about that? I say, pointing the gun at her.
Yes, and she goes, she just rolled a look check there. She goes, yes, sir, I think I have no problem finding out about that. And I think, sir, you are bluffing.
Can I do like a persuasion check or an intimidation?
You can do whichever one of them you think would work better.
Yeah, okay, let's just see.
Now these will be what's called opposed because she's now got her game up, so she's going to. I must find out what the.
I was just imagining. And
intimidate.
You're doing an intimidate.
And he's pulling a gun, and then meanwhile, just as you can see the webbed hands and this pattern of the scales.
So I need to do. See, there's opposed rolls. So for your intimidation, I do a power. I think it's a power. I'll just check it though to see do I. So I have to get
that's
better.
Like your willpower, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to check it.
That would make sense. It'd be kind of like wisdom, I suppose, wouldn't it? Like D&D.
Okay, so you got a regular success. So I need, and you're trying to persuade me. So if I fail this, you will win. Right, roll. Okay, so yeah, she failed it, and she was 50. So we're actually both 50. So she, you can see she looks a bit. Okay. So okay, sir. So you want to be left back into the office, is it?
Do I need to repeat myself?
Okay, so she unlocks the door and opens it for you.
Right on.
And she says, she moves away from the door.
Yeah. Does she still have the key?
Yes, she has the key.
I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
See you around. Now buzz off.
Okay. So you going into the office, are you?
Yes.
So right, she heads off. She heads into the lecture room.
And now, mess around for whatever. What am I looking for here, guys? Help me out.
Anything incriminating.
Yeah.
Excuse me, what are you doing? And
who's there?
It is Dr. Rhodes, sir. My assistant came to me and said you had forced your way into her office. She has at this moment gone off to call the police.
Well, I am the police.
Yes,
so
well, she said that you were claiming that, but we'll find out, sir, soon, because the police are on their way.
Oh, really?
Yes, oh, really. Well, and if you look out the window, which I know you've no windows there, you can see Ascent running across the road, heading off in the direction of somewhere. I don't think they had campus security in those days. She gets smacked over she gets hit by a bus, by Joe Sargent's Innsmouth bus.
The police station's not far from the university.
Yeah, actually, we have the map. So
there was like the campus, and then it was just up top, like northeast of the.
Actually, you're
Right.
right. So the police
'Cause there was
station
that lit
is.
street, and then there was a library and museum, and then
Yeah,
the next
the
street.
fire station is directly opposite. There's a block. There's a fire station. She is a block away. Yeah, length of. Yeah, it's only going to take her maybe 5 minutes to
Yeah.
get to the police
Well,
station. You're
First of all,
probably,
seeing that Rhodes has left the lecture hall. I don't know how long this has been going on.
Yeah.
How long he's kind of
yeah.
Yeah.
stumbled a bit and and wondering should he. The lecture's not going well. Does he cut it short? And he's not sure what to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to head off there in a minute because I had to leave for work at 5 a.m.
Okay, Mikey.
Feel free to like work away without me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
with the cops potentially on the way, is that a good place to
I'll tell you what. Let me know what.
cliffhanger?
Let me know what your plan is. Are you just going to run away? Are you going to shoot up the place?
Mhm.
I mean, I don't mind staying. I mean, it's up to you guys. I don't know what time it is in Jordan, Andy.
It's about 25 past midnight.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe because it could get quite involved with the police.
But I need. I mean, all I would need from Professor Rhodes is a couple of books.
Okay.
I mean, I know he could. I mean, she told me about the Necronomicon that he could give me access to that one, and like this being Cthulhu, I suppose that the name Necronomicon would kind of give like a
yeah.
that would like ring its bell subconsciously. Sorry.
Yeah, I think she said it was kind of the most kind of famous one. Whether
Yeah.
or not that
So,
in the the public consciousness, I don't know.
Yeah. I should have probably
Yeah.
been talking about in the mythos.
but also just hearing the name Necronomicon, that would like send a chill down people's spine.
Yeah.
Like I would have this gut feeling that okay, this is important. We need to.
So Rhodes says, "I say it to you again, sir. What is your business at my desk? The police will be here momentarily."
Yes, my business at your desk is that I'm trying to save people's lives, sir.
I don't see how my desk can be used to save anybody's life.
Well, it doesn't have so much to do with your desk as what's in it and around it potentially. I need to have access to certain books, and I understand that that you might be the one to ask in that regard.
Well, it is generally easier to ask. Are you going on the philosophy? It's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission.
Well, being a man of the law, I'm fortunately above those things. Now, we could do this the easy way or the hard way. And I need access to certain books, which I know you have. So, what's it going to be? The easy way or the hard way?
And what books are these, sir?
Well, there's a certain Necronomicon, and there was a what was it? Aqueduct something.
Modern aqueducts in the Roman era. So he goes. He says, "Okay, one moment. I will. I'll see what I can do." And he steps out.
And I'll just follow him.
And he closes the door.
And I will just open it.
He closes it again.
And I will just open it.
And he.
I mean, I've got the key, so.
Yeah. So he might have a key as well. Anyway, he heads out the front door. We'll get rid of her. And he goes, the library is this way. And he heads off down the road, and he's been walking for a few minutes, and he's heading towards. Give me a look roll again, please.
Pushing it, huh?
No, just a regular look roll.
I can do it.
Yeah, you after a few minutes walking, you suddenly realize that this wouldn't be the way to the library. Surely there was an internal corridor to the library. So you don't think he's...
Okay. So I pull out my gun. Sir, I'm going to need you to stop right now and tell me what's going on.
So he goes, we're heading to the 14th Precinct building, which is just over the corner there. With that, coming down the steps is his research assistant and two uniformed police officers.
Hey, guys.
How's it going? You still got the gun out, by the way?
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna holster that thing.
Yeah. So they go, how are you, Professor? I believe there's some trouble.
I pull out my badge immediately.
Okay.
Archibald Darren Walters, Ipswich Police Department. I'm here on professional matters.
Are you a bit far from your precinct, detective?
I know, but this case goes way beyond my precinct, and I have reason to believe that people's lives are in danger in this very moment.
Well, I suggest we probably should go back to our precinct house, and you can have a chat with the captain.
Sir, what I need right now is not a chat with the captain. I need access to certain books that this gentleman said he would provide me with.
So we'll have a look at your warrant there, so. We'll have a look at your warrant, please.
Can I do an intimidation?
You can, but you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to succeed on hard. These are two beat cops. They don't know who you are, and they know who the professor is. So yeah, it's.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, nearly. You got 2 stars. They go.
Okay.
No, look.
Yeah.
You're putting up a strong argument there, but I suggest you come back with the right paperwork.
Oh.
You know how it is. We've all been there, and you're trying to get a bit of stuff, a bit of knowledge when you can't. But
Of course I know how it is. But the thing is, sir, in the time it would take for me to get the right paperwork, people will be dying. And as a fellow man of the law, I'm sure you can understand and appreciate that I put that above the importance of paperwork, wouldn't you say?
I would, but and I'm sure if you had a chat with the captain and put together your case, I'm sure 5 minutes isn't going to cause the mass destruction of Massachusetts.
Jesus fucking Christ! Off game.
Yeah. Okay, up front, these cops aren't going to let you intimidate the professor into giving them the books.
No.
But if you want to go back to the police station and whatever, or if there's other ways you might be able to persuade him.
I think
I'm actually going to head off there.
Okay, Mikey.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll talk to you next time.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
So
I think our options are regroup, speak to the captain, or shoot the police officers and kidnap Rhodes.
So one of the cops says, Dr. Rhodes, I suggest now you go back to your office there and we'll have a chat with this detective. And we'll see what he wants, and if we can be amenable to it. So Rhodes with that makes a wide berth, and his research assistant, who is caught up, they head back into the university.
Okay. Yeah.
And Andy, give me a listening check there, please, as they go past.
Oh. Again now.
Yeah.
With that, depending how much commotion would there have been, would other people have been taking notice and leaving the lecture hall?
There was people drifting out of your lecture hall for other reasons, and they might have seen
it.
Yeah.
Dead.
Oh yeah, unfortunately. Okay, so you
just failed. Listen,
okay.
I've been rolling those like a boss.
So the cops go right now, detective. You should have come over now to the police house. We could have helped you with these academic types. Now they can cause an awful lot of trouble for us around here, and you know they often think we're their private security, but they do pay for the old Christmas turkey and hams, if you get my drift. So you know
I understand. I perfectly understand, sir. I work under the same conditions as you, and I will come down to the precinct with you, and I will explain everything I know to the captain. If you wouldn't mind, I would like to go back and consult with my colleagues first. You're more than welcome to follow me along there, and then we can go back together.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, that's fine, you know. I mean, there's many forms of paperwork, you know.
Yes, I understand.
Green paperwork.
Yeah, yeah. So they go. Well, look, you have a chat, and we'll be outside if you need us further assistance, or I'll be across the road if I'm not here. I'm Constable Gelfie.
Love that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So,
So
he wanders back off, swinging his trunk.
yeah, yeah. So I suppose we're they're standing outside. I'm going inside, and
Yeah. You do notice Rhodes seems to be quite animated, talking to his assistant.
mm-hmm.
She's getting a bit defensive. It's a pity you failed the listening check. But as soon as they see you coming in up the steps, they both go quiet.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this has been going on, or how long. I mean, at most it's going to be.
Yeah,
An
I've been
hour,
thinking about it
40
too.
minutes, maybe.
Yeah, you're finished your presentation now at this stage, shall we say?
Yeah, I think he probably cut it early. 'cause
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
Not, no one's really.
Yeah.
People have been slow clapping for like a half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just kind of moping his way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lecture hall.
So I suppose I would grab a quick hold of Owen and tell him quickly give him the gist of what happened and what that girl told me.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Have you come into the lecture hall? Is it?
Yeah, no, I've just been standing outside.
Okay, yeah. He pops his head out. Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you've heard everything off game.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna give you the gist of it, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what would be best. That I go down to the precinct and spill my guts, or that I cut my losses and give them whatever cash I have. But in any case, I think I've made myself somewhat of a persona non grata at this place. So if we want to get our hands on those books, you're going to have to butter up Professor Rhodes.
Well, I think Professor Rhodes has just seen us talking to each other.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think, is he there, or is
He went
was he
into
back
his
in his
office.
office?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, no. Obviously, I wouldn't say that in front of Professor Rhodes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't sure. But I was like, I don't know, it could be spun that way. He's like, well, yeah, well, we better. Well, maybe we don't head right over to the precinct. We might need to maybe talk to Jane and get our story straight and see what we want to do.
Absolutely. I think in any case involving more law enforcement would not be a good thing at this point. So
well, if they're if they're open to some off the books type of stuff, it mightn't be the worst thing in the world. Could be useful, but
yeah, but on the other hand, they're waiting outside and we're in here. So if there's a back door,
yeah, I mean, yeah, we got a couple exits.
right?
I assume there's
How about you start brown nosing Professor Rhodes, and I make a bolt for it and
Yeah, he'll tell him how to get out because obviously it's the two of us.
If he goes through the ornamental garden at the north, there's many exits.
Yeah. So he is. Yeah, I think he is gonna have a probably a rather sheepish conversation with Rhodes.
Okay.
All right. So Archibald gets the hell out of there.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose if he's, we'll regroup. I suppose, maybe in like a couple of hours, maybe back at my apartment or something. But
yeah,
just wait till I get home, just because that the young woman Ruth is there. Maybe just if Owen is home first, like you know.
Okay, we'll just finish off this little bit here if you want to call into Rhodes, and then we can park it.
I suppose we'll just have a quick chat with Rhodes, yeah.
Okay. So
beforehand, yeah,
So you're going to go into his office, is it? Yeah. So, my boy, I'm sorry, I had to leave early, and I know there was a lot of people were making fun of your but like. As I said, there's a lot of links up, and there's a lot of legend. As I was saying to you before, that don't confuse the two. But and that book I gave you might be of some interest to you. It talks about how to contact Father Dagon. But yes, I'm sorry. I had to one of my assistants contacted me that there was somebody in my office. It got a bit bizarre. He was looking for the nomenon.
What did he
fucking
trying to?
The Necronomicon.
Burglar looking for.
It was very strange.
He's not a very he's not a very good thief if he thinks he's going to find riches in a college professor's office. At least not mine, anyway.
And if he thinks the Necronomicon is going to be kept in my office, that's under lock and key in the main part of the library. It's anyway very strange. But give me a look roll, Baron, please.
What did he say?
I said, give me a look roll.
Before that,
he said if he thinks that would be fine.
Oh, after that.
Jesus Christ, I don't know.
Necronomicon is under lock and key where?
In a vault in the main library.
No, that was failed.
Okay, do you want to? Yeah. It was very sad, but
Well,
yes.
Looking for the Necronomicon.
Yes, it's an old work. I mean, yes, but I don't know what he'd want with it. It's not
So he wasn't looking for. So he was looking for books.
Yeah, it was very strange. He was mentioning other names as well. I don't know. It just seems a bit I don't know what.
What did he look like? Did he say who he was?
I didn't get his name. He was waving around a police badge, but my assistant went and got the police from the crossroad at the precinct, and there was a bit of a chat between them all, and they basically
said,
told
"Oh,
him
your assistant, the young lady.
Yes,
I saw someone come and
yes,
get you from the
that's,
the dock. Yeah, I seen her.
Yes, it's Ascent. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Young lady. He says, "No, I mean I don't want to, but with Darby, right?
Yes, Darby's wife. Yes,
I'd seen him around with a dark-haired woman at something. I don't know, some cocktail party or something.
Yeah.
I thought he did between you and me. I thought he'd done quite well
yes,
for
I,
him.
I thought as a police officer, he would have at least asked the name of the person he was interrogating. But sure, what do I know?
Well, context clues. Yeah, I think he knew.
Yes, so the Necronomicon, yes, by Theodorus Philetus, 950 AD. Yes, it's early manuscript. Small printing. It was in Florence, they think, in Italy, as a folio edition was suppressed by the church. Black Daddy Drawings, Maps, Charts, Last. The only other, it is valuable. I mean, there was a original copy in this America was burnt in Salem in 1692. And we have we have a copy of that. I mean, obviously we don't have that because the original was burnt in Salem. But our copy dates back to, we reckon, 1228. But I don't know why you'd want to steal that book. I mean, it wouldn't be really. I mean, you'd have to know collectors. You'd have to, maybe if you knew, he'd have to have somebody who would want him to steal that. But there was other books he was looking for. Very strange.
Well, I don't know. But speaking of the books, to be honest, the lecture didn't go quite as planned. But I understand. I think we're of a similar mind. Dr. Rhodes. People, you see these occult books and people read into them, and but oftentimes these things are written, it's people trying to come to grips with some concept that they don't understand.
True.
People thought that the sun moved because Apollo pulled it across the sky, but now we know different. But this, I think that there might be something to this. Whatever, Book of Dagon or Aquadingan and so forth. People used to think that dinosaur bones were giants.
True. Well,
I think there might be something far more earthly going on down there in Innsmouth, a new species. But whatever it is, I believe that it's scientific.
The sea holds a lot of mystery for us, and there certainly could be species that we haven't seen yet. I do agree with you, but to conflate them with gods and outer gods and elder gods is silliness. It comes back to what we call the axiom shift of when mankind became sentient and needed, as you say, to put logic on why stars and the planets moved, that they invented, what the extension of what they could see around them, of humans into bigger humans, more powerful humans. I think I will need to get my locks changed. I think I must call it locks, which is what I find odd about one of the things. I religiously lock my door, and he goes over and he looks at the lock and he says, "It hasn't been forced." So that police officer must be a good. He must be able to pick a good lock that he was able to get in here, because only I have a key for this. And he reaches into his pocket and he goes, "Yes, it's still here." So I'm not sure how he was able to unlock the door. But anyway, I'll get a new lock. Strange. So I must bid you farewell. I will have to find a locksmith before the end of the day.
Yeah. So don't let me take up any more of your time.
And do let me know how you get on with that book of aqueducts from the Roman era.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that
don't be summoning too many deep ones.
Well, I'm wondering, it might be, as you say, the ocean is a vast place, and certain species have very wide areas of migration. So it's possible that a similar species, there might have been sightings of something similar in another location.
Sorry, I just opened the other screen there because you said we're just gonna. Are you going to leave there?
Yeah, I think he's
okay. So just to finish it on a cliffhanger part of it, you meet up back at the apartment. Archibald is standing outside the door waiting for you. You get back, you go in, and you discover Ruth's decapitated body on your bed. So yeah.
Oh. In case I forget, he's also gonna check, is the desk lock picked or busted open?
Okay.
With the Book of Dagon.
Yeah.
He's gonna check that. I will check that. I'm just gonna make a note that I'm checking that.
Yeah. Okay.
For the next time.
Okay. So yeah, Ruth's body. She's been decapitated and is on the bed.
Hey, excellent.
Yeah, another body to get rid of.
Back to the graveyard.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
body on our hands.
I'm just going to stop the recording. Thanks everyone for watching. If you got this far.